And we're live. Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. How are you? This is Phil from What We're Watching and Peter. And today we got a very, 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 very special guest, the Death Dealer himself from one of the best movie groups on Facebook, or maybe even the best, the one I'm on most of the time. And that's Justin Bramlett. How are you, man? Are you there?
Oh, did we lose Justin right away? No.
We have we have it's like our jinx. He is gone. We were talking to him fine for about 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
So I see that we have a few viewers already on. How are you? I got a heart and I got two views. So guys, today we're going to be talking holiday movies, movies that maybe you haven't seen for the holidays, a few horror flicks, a few non-horror flicks. And Justin got booted as soon as we went live. This is like we have a knack for this.
Yeah,
We
I
have an
know. I
absolute.
had trouble getting on at the start too. My internet died about 30 seconds after I clicked on the StreamYard link.
Hello, Kate. Yes, no, Justin will be back. He'll be back.
He will be
There you go.
back, yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
he's
you guys
back.
there?
There we go.
All
There he is.
right. Jeez, I'm
Justin,
sorry.
look, we were
These
just
things
commenting.
happen.
You have it's the jinx, the Peter jinx. Like Peter and I were
Yeah.
talking fine before we go on live, and as soon as I say hello, Peter, bam. So introduce yourself, say hi. I see Kate is on. Hi, Kate O'Callahan. How are you? So say hi to people, Justin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Justin. Of course, we made Talking Films 4 years ago now, five, something like that. It's my first time actually doing it with you guys. I'm just happy to be here, and happy holidays to everyone. You can hear what our our good Christmas lists are today. Are you guys still there? Because I keep breaking up here a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh
I
no,
can
we're
hear you
still here.
fine.
We're still here.
Okay. All right.
So
Good.
we're gonna get right into it, guys, because we got a lot of movies to talk about
Yeah.
today. Let me put this up here. We got a whole bunch of movies. So we got the not so Christmassy Christmas time movie list. So some of these movies may be traditional, but most of them are out to left field a little bit. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of something for everyone. As always, like, share, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Talking Films, invite your friends to the Talking Films page. Peter and I usually do this on YouTube. My channel is youtube.com/Phil in Brazil. So you can check us out every Monday. And thanks, Justin, for always letting us share on your group and kind of
No
always
problem.
being like a partnership. We always try to give you guys a lot of advertising when we're online.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To bring more people into the group.
And a shout
So
out to our friends in Friday Nightmares podcasts as well, who are kind of
yes,
also an affiliate. Because we will be talking some horror tonight. So
yes, definitely. Later, I'll download the video and post it on the YouTube channel and post it there. So thank you, Scott and Heather. You guys are sweethearts
Yeah, they
for
rock.
always letting us share on your page. So let's get to it. And we're going to start traditional here with Peter.
very,
It's a Wonderful Life, 1946. Absolute classic. Go ahead, Peter. Tell
yeah,
us. Why do you love this
yeah.
movie?
I don't know. People are shocked when I tell them I like this, but I would have to say Frank Capra is probably one of my, if not in my top 10 of directors of all time, at least in the top 20s. Like nobody does that feel good, heart of America, triumph of the underdog type of movie than Frank Capra does. He's done so many greats. And it's funny because I disagree with almost everything about this movie. Like George Bailey, he wants to travel the world. He wants to shake the dust of this crummy one-horse town off his feet and see the world. But he winds up getting sucked into the family business and having to protect it from the evil old miser, what's his name, Mr. Potter, and run the savings and loan. And it becomes a really thankless job to the point where our angel has to intervene and show him what his life would have been like without him. But it just hits all the right notes. Like it's cheesy as fuck, but it gets the heartstrings of even somebody as hard-hearted and miserable as me. If even I can feel this movie, then I think anybody can. It's like one of the most accessible Christmas movies ever.
I agree, Justin. Does this hit your heart bone, your heart muscle?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I was talking to you earlier. This is one of the movies we watched with my grandma this past week, and it's still good. You know, we watched it in 4K. It looked sharp. The acting's, still great. The story's good. It's a good feel-good movie for around the holidays,
Yeah, except for the suicide part. That's
Yeah.
bit of a downer. The bit where he freaks on this kid is actually my favorite scene in the movie. Can you just quit that goddamn noise with the piano? It's like,
And if I'm not mistaken, it's one of those movies that was not successful when it came out, and then it just kind of like Shawshank Redemption, it just got a cult following, and now it's just the standard movie that everybody watches for Christmas. But if I'm not mistaken, I mean, guys, always Google check us, fact check us.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that this one is one of those movies that just didn't hit when it came out, but just grew and grew and grew. And yeah, I'm a cold-hearted asshole too, and yet I love this movie. This will hit you. If it doesn't hit you, you are not.
You're a monster. You're a
Yeah.
monster.
You're a monster.
Scrooge.
Yeah. Potter.
Speaking of Scrooge, Scrooge, now we're on to Justin's first movie, Scrooge from 1988.
Oh yeah, I just basically love this movie, man. It's just I got a lot of love for Bill Murray, and I'm not sure if this is fact or not, but I've read a few times that they said that this was the first movie that was like a major first time for Bill Murray to be the only one, the main star, to take on a movie. Now I've read that a few times. I'm not sure if that's true because I'm not sure when he did Stripes and all that. I mean, I know there's a few of them.
Stripes was 83 or 81 to 83, I think.
Right on. Well, he did return though after what was it, Ghostbusters 1 or something. He took like a 4-year break, I'm pretty sure, on that. But I just enjoy it. It's got more of a comedy to it, to the A Christmas Carol. A little darker, a little funnier. I mean, and it's Bill Murray. Every time I watch it, I love it. We watched it this past week. It was still great. Had all of us laughing and loving it. And Richard Donner, he's a pretty good director. I enjoy most of his films. And
Justin, didn't you post something in the Talking Films group about how Bill Murray hated working with Donner?
I think it was the other way around, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was the other way around. Yeah, but it was mainly because of the lines. Murray wasn't impressed with the lines or certain, because a lot of the scenes were cut from the movie. They said there's like bunches of like scenes that they did film, but then they ended up cutting it because Bill Murray wasn't happy with it. It's the end result. The director, I don't think they ever worked with each other after that. But in interviews after, Richard Donner always did say nice things about Murray. So I think maybe they buried that hatchet. But there was a lot of bumping heads in that movie and behind the scenes. I can
imagine, because Bill is one of these guys that's probably ad-libbing half of the movie. And there are directors that are cool with that. Others that are like, no, like this is what's in the script. This is what we're doing.
Richard Donner did say this, though, about him. He said that after Murray shot that final scene where he has that monologue, he's talking, or he turned good and everything's great around Christmas. He said when he watched that scene, that was their last shot of that whole movie. And that's when he realized that Bill Murray was becoming an actual actor because he wasn't just doing the comedy route. He's actually, pulling your heartstrings and stuff there in the end, showing you how he's changed and become a better person, for Christmas and for everyone. But so Richard Donner's quoted saying that that's when he believes Bill Murray actually became an actor, not just a comedian.
Cool. Yeah, this is another one that I haven't seen in forever. So there's a bunch of these that I need to rewatch, man. Like the last 2 years, I haven't really sat down and watched holiday movies. So I got to get back on some of these. One that I will be watching soon because here's a quick little promo where Peter and I are going through the Stanley Kubrick movies because we're doing a Kubrick ranking for our podcast. And just watched Paths of Glory yesterday, so I'm like getting to the good stuff
That's
now.
one of my favorites, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. First time watch for me. But here, Eyes Wide Shut, which I've seen about 2 or 3 times, and I love this movie.
Awesome movie.
And it's an awesome movie, and it's a Christmas movie. It was released at Christmas time.
It's a very Christmassy movie.
Yes.
Who doesn't want an
And
orgy for Christmas?
yeah, man. Like I said, guys, some of these movies may not be your traditional Christmas
Mhm.
movies, but they're worth watching. You know, it give you an excuse to watch some of these movies. Now,
Mhm.
I'll just give you a fair warning for this movie. It all like the movie's all atmosphere, so it has to do with who you watch it with and when you watch it for you, and I think that'll play a big role in whether you enjoy it or not. So, quick story: when I went to see, I saw it twice in the theaters. Once I went to like the Ritz, you know, which is this nice little art house theater in Philadelphia. Could hear
Mhm.
pin drop in there through the whole movie. Everybody was 100% immersed, loved the movie. But then next time we went to like this ghettoplex, as I like to call it, the actual multiplex. And the
Mhm.
theater was full because the trailer for the movie, the way they advertised it was like going to be the Nicole Kidman Tom Cruise sex tape, you know, like that's just the way that they
Yeah.
advertised. So
Mhm.
all these young kids were there trying to watch this, and you're like, you know, you're watching like an art house movie, you know, and they just were like laughing and screaming at the screen, and I hated the movie after watching it then. So I had to rewatch it later on and be like, oh no, this is really good. It just has to
Mhm.
do with the audience that you're watching it with. But it's slow, it's ponderous, but it
It's
is great.
long. It is quite
Uh,
long as well.
Yes, and
yep.
Justin, you said that there's like a uncut version with more tits and ass.
Oh yeah, yeah. They got the director's cut out now. It's on Blu-ray. Where they released the extended cut. I'm not sure how many minutes extra they put into it. It's a little bit. It's mainly just the orgy. You know, if you're watching the rated R cut, you see the heads in the way or something. You know, as two people are banging and doing their thing. And the uncut, no, it actually looks like it's a real porn, or at least Skinamax porn. You know, where the heads are not there and you actually see the motion going. But
Nice.
it's I think that's all he really added, or they added. I forget
Yeah,
who made
he
that
didn't
movie
have,
after
it was
Kubrick.
done by
Yeah.
Kubrick. Yeah, then it can't
Yeah,
be a
this is his
director's
last
cut because
movie before.
he died.
Yeah, he
Yep.
died like yeah, right after they were filming it or something. Yeah, so he didn't get to edit it, or I believe.
No,
Yeah,
Don't
no,
this
he
know.
is his
didn't.
last one before he kicked the buckets.
Man.
And it's infamous the movie because of how long
Mhm.
he kept Nicole and Tom locked away in that
Oh
his little
yeah.
studio out in England because I think the movie took like a year and a half to film, some crazy stuff. And it's the last movie. It's kind of interesting because it's like the end of the relationship of Tom and Cruise in real life, and the
Mhm.
movie also kind of has this kind of a relationship that kind of has gone sour after many years, except that it's got the best last line.
It does.
Oh,
It has the
Mhm.
best last line. Let's not give that away for anyone who hasn't seen it because it's the most romantic Christmassy line you could possibly
Mm.
say to your loved one. Who doesn't want to
yeah.
hear that on Christmas?
Right, right.
So, guys, this one is one not to watch with the kiddies.
No.
And,
Don't even watch with your grandparents if you have them around for the holidays or
oh my God, Justin, that was the worst. Watching it with like this was like a family outing for my family. Like my mom, my older sister, like we all went to this movie thinking, oh, it's gonna be like this fun romp, you know, with a little bit of type movie. And there's like 15, how old? 1999. I guess I was like 17 or so. Just
Mhm.
like read through the whole movie, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm watching this. Like some Sonic ritual movie with my very evangelical mom. It's like, yeah, don't
Well,
watch it.
I remember even going with my girlfriend at the time to go see it, and she was pissed because I was excited watching Nicole Kidman get naked for the first time. You
Yeah,
know,
you see her
so
Yes.
butt in the first
You know
in the
what?
first
You know
five
what's funny?
minutes.
The only
yeah.
person, no, you see, the only person that doesn't get naked in the movie is Tom Cruise, which is kind of cool in terms of the themes of the movie because he's got this tension all around him. Like all this stuff is happening and he's never a participant. He's just a
Right.
watcher. But enough on that, guys. Just check this one out if you've never seen it. It's a cool
Mhm.
movie. It's
It
slow though,
is.
so you gotta be in the right mindset. All right, Pete. Bad Santa.
Yes, yes. What can I say? As somebody who is a cold-hearted bastard, I love this movie because look at this guy, man. He is a bastard, and Billy Bob Thornton is so good in this. If anyone hasn't seen it, because I think it's kind of a turnoff for a lot of people, it's about these two who are a duo who every year they work as a Santa and elf at a department store. The whole idea being to rob the department store, give themselves enough money to live on for a year. But Billy Bob is a self-loathing alcoholic who's mean to everybody, and his partner's kind of thinking of ditching him. And if that sounds really cold and cruel, it does actually kind of have this nice, heartwarming little subplot where he befriends a little boy who's being bullied and helps him get his self-esteem, and thereby our bad Santa gets his redemption arc. But what I like about this is at the end of the movie, he's still a bastard. He did a good thing, and he became a better person, but he's still a bastard. So it's not the whole you have to undergo this dramatic Scrooge-like transformation. It's just that, like, you don't have to be a bastard all the time. You can be nice sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Other than the fact that another thing I really liked about it was that it has a Sling Blade reunion. John Ritter is in this as well. And they were both in Sling Blade together. So I thought that was kind of a nice reference.
I've actually never
Nice.
seen this. Have you seen this one, Justin? I've never seen this movie.
What, Bad Santa? Oh, yes, definitely. Oh, I love it. I love it. My girlfriend Haley hates it. She can't stand it. So I just watched it again the other night, and I watched the Badder Santa. It's like uncut or something. And I'm not sure what they really added in there because it was so, I don't know. It was very rated R when it came out in its time.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
he pisses himself. He pisses himself when he's seeing kids at the mall. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. You got that. Yeah, he's pissing himself, and
he fucks the chick in the change room of the department store.
Oh yeah. Where she can't shit right for a week or something.
Yeah.
So
and John Ritter has to repeat that line to his boss, and he's so embarrassed.
To Bernie Mac, even you know, I mean Bernie Mac.
Right. Bernie Mac is the store detective. That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great film. I love it. I mean, it's raunchy. It's funny. I love it. I know a lot of people don't. They think it's disgusting that they had a Santa do this, but you know, there's many of us out there. So I think it's great.
Dwarf. Isn't this the little dwarf or little person, I should say?
Oh, he was great.
He was on Seinfeld a lot. Wasn't that the same actor? But I know I've seen him in a few films. He's pretty funny. But I love Billy Bob, so I'm gonna put this on my watch
list. Definitely worth checking out. Yes.
Yeah, I'll be watching this on Friday for sure. That's an annual viewing for me.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of part 2, though, real quick?
I haven't actually seen it.
No. Okay. Yeah, it's worth checking out. I mean, it's funny. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's good. They got Kathy Bates in there, kind of mix it up a little bit as his mother. And of course, he's got to go back and start doing some stuff again with the little guy, you know. So you got to kind of see that to see how they kind of start working together again and trying to bury that hatchet. What happens in the first one. But I mean, it's.
I'm sorry.
It's just kind of hard to, you know, you see that little boy, now he's like 19 or something, or 20, you know, he's just way bigger, but he still is just as annoying as he was in the first one. So, I mean, yeah, it's not as good as the first one by any means, but it's definitely worth checking out. Let's see what you think about it.
What's his name? Thurman Sherman?
Thurman Sherman. Yeah, I think that is it. Yeah. Your name's Thurman Sherman? Are you fucking with me? Oh, you got to, man.
He continues to like him so much, no matter how mean he is to him.
Yeah, yep. It's a great movie. I think it's, you know, it's like what Peter said. It's an annual thing. You know, every year I always throw in a Bad Santa. So definitely check it out.
I think we have another movie now that's kind of in the same vein, which is The Ref that Justin's going to talk about.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, it's just about you know, I can't remember what he did, but he robs a store or bank or something happens in the beginning, and it's just Dennis Leary. You know, he's running from the cops. He somehow grabs Kevin Spacey and his wife. I can't remember who's in it right now. But anyways, it's basically just a man trying to hide from the law, and the cops are looking for him. So he takes this married couple as hostages. Well, it turns out that they hate each other. So he's got to deal with these two people screaming and swearing at each other the whole time. And he's the ref trying to, you know, separate it up. And while he's trying to handle those two, more family members are coming into the house for Christmas, so he's got to take care of them, and shit just goes on and on and on from there. But I think that was Dennis Leary's first major role, into Hollywood. I know he was in Judgment Night. I'm not sure when that one was filmed, but I'm pretty sure Ref was his first big thing after No Cure for Cancer stand-up. But, it's a funny movie. It's just fun if you want to sit back and laugh. It's not too dirty, which is shocking for Dennis Leary, but it's still rated R, so, you want to kind of keep your, kids, maybe not have your kids watch it, or grandparents, but, my grandmother, she loved it, last week we watched it. So, definitely a good flick to check out.
Yeah, there's another one. I remember it coming out. I'm sure I've seen it. I was like off and on with Dennis Leary. Like I thought he was funny sometimes. Other times I was like, eh.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I ever sat down and paid attention to it. But I love this actress.
Yeah, who is it? I can't look it up right now for some reason.
She was in that show Sybil. She played Sybil's best friend, but she's really funny. It's not Sybil Shepherd, obviously, but she played her best friend, Christine Baranski.
Okay.
She's been in a bunch of good movies. She's really funny.
Yeah, and she does awesome in it. I mean, her just screaming at Kevin Spacey, and no matter what you think of the guy, he is a good actor. So, just to see him screaming at her, it's kind of like American Beauty on steroids. A little bit with the tension between them, and it's funny, if you like to hear Dennis Leary go off on a rant here and there,
Yeah,
he definitely does that a few times.
That was his rants. I remember him on MTV. He used to have those little vignettes on MTV all the time. Some of them were funny. She was on Addams Family Values, 9.5 Weeks, Bulworth. That's what I remember her from. The Birdcage. She was in the Birdcage. She was on a bunch of movies. Bowfinger, Into the Woods. She's in Mamma Mia, so she's old school. She's an old school actress, and she brings that kind of theatricality to a lot of her roles. But I really like her style. Real great comedy actress. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. And I asked here to drop your favorite holiday movies, and I'm so upset with myself, and I'm upset with all you guys too. Nobody brought up
with me. I missed a really obvious one.
Is fucking awesome, and I didn't put that on my list.
What is it?
Edward Scissorhands.
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah! Wow! Big fail there for all of us.
No. You know what one that occurred to none of us either is Ben-Hur. That's like the ultimate. Like you got 3 hours to kill on Sunday movie that happens to end with Jesus. It's a great movie. For some reason, it just didn't cross my mind. I was thinking the anti-Christmas direction.
And a few people. So Kate mentioned Gremlins, and another person here mentioned Gremlins too. We'll talk Gremlins a little later for sure, guys. Kate also mentioned Love Actually, which I've never seen.
It's a good movie for British humor, I think, anyways. Yeah.
And Miracle on 34th Street.
Got a good cast, but I've never seen it.
Sweet for me. That's a little too sugary for my taste. Miracle on 34th Street, but it's
my
cute.
mom's favorite Christmas movie.
And by the way, I don't know who said, it's Justin Morel, because inside the StreamYard studio, we can't see who a lot of the people are commenting. It just says Facebook user, but I got his name because I got the page open here, Talking Films. So Justin Morel mentioned Gremlins. Thanks for watching, guys. And while you were sleeping, so there's a whole bunch. We'll be mentioning more.
Holy fuck, that's a Christmas movie? Oh, sorry.
I have no clue. I think I've seen it. That's the one where what's her name? The girl from Speed.
Sandra Bullock. Yeah, America's Sweetheart. Yeah.
Right? Isn't that the one where she's Puma?
I have no idea. I've never actually sat down and watched while you were sleeping.
Yeah. No. That doesn't ring a bell.
No, I didn't purchase a ticket for that one.
It's a 1995 romantic comedy film. Yeah, the romantic comedy already, so I definitely never saw it. Sandra Bullock and Bill Pullman.
Oh my god, that was really painful, actually.
Oh, I gotta see it now. I gotta let you guys go. I gotta go load up while you were sleeping real quick.
Yeah. Anyway, the film was a critical and commercial success. Yeah, I do remember it was huge when it came out.
Yep.
But anyway. I think we all have to go watch this now. Thank Thank you for the comments, and keep watching. We'll definitely talk Gremlins. And let me move the slideshow ahead because now we're talking Ernest Saves Christmas.
Woo!
88. Guys, Ernest was like my hero growing up. I was an 80s kid and I watched all of them from Ernest Goes to Jail and Ernest Does This and Ernest Does That. And I was so sad to find out later on when I was older that he passed away. Jim Varney. But great movie. It's really like a dumb plot. Santa Claus is looking for his successor in the hapless taxi driver Ernest P. Worrell. He's just a man to help him out. They travel to Florida to pass his mantle on to children's show host Joe Carruthers. Santa gets into some unexpected trouble, and it's up to Ernest, along with a teen girl named Harmony, Noelle Parker, to assist St. Nick with this important mission. And by the way, yeah, I had to read that because I did not remember the plot of this movie. I just know I love it. And I mean, how many of you guys grew up on Ernest? I'm sure Justin did. I don't know about
Oh,
Peter.
absolutely, man. I mean, if you were an 80s baby, early 90s, you definitely, dug Ernest. I mean, I did. Like you said, I watched, what was it, Camp, Jail, the Ernest Scared Stupid, and then, the Christmas movie. I remember going to the theater to see the Christmas one with my mom, and we went, and she actually took me to it, and she couldn't stand them, but she took me, just to bribe me for something. But it's great. We watched it again last week, and it's cute, it's funny, just to watch him. It's a silly kid, it's really kiddie. It's a kid story, but it's fun. It's fun.
Oh shit! I'm looking here. There's Ernest Goes to Africa. I missed that one.
Yeah, we ran into those last week. We saw them on the streaming site, and there was like 5 or 6 more of them after the Scared Stupid.
Wow.
And I'm like, I stopped at the Halloween one. I'm pretty sure.
There was that many. I remember Ernest Goes to Jail and Ernest Slam Dunk. Ernest Goes to School kind of rings a bell, but I didn't know he went to Africa. And it's like he's got like this African mask on. Oh boy!
The thing that's great about
and he's like in blackface.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got him in blackface. This is great.
Oh no!
Reason why we've never heard of this movie before.
Yeah. I love it. Just I'll support that man, forever, just because who he was behind the scenes as well. He was such a good guy. I read something the other day. He was still seeing kids sick with cancer, dying. He was still dressing up and acting like Ernest for them as he was sick and was dying. He was still doing the Ernest bit for all the children. And how do you hate a guy like that?
No, he was cool, man. He was cool, and definitely a part of a lot of, like you said, early '90s, late '80s kids' childhood. Silly as fuck. And for me, like someone it was like Jim Carrey before Jim Carrey, and I never, for whatever reason, got into Jim Carrey as a kid. Like when The Mask came out and Pet Detective and all that, I just couldn't get into him. But Ernest, I love. Like that was my dude.
I liked Jim Carrey when I was little, when he first came out. Not what was before. What was before Ace Ventura? The TV show.
In Living Color.
Yeah, in Living Color. Yeah, I loved him as Fire Marshal Bill. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he played that lady or whatever. Gosh, I can't think of her name either. Where he was like a built lady. Like a horse face.
I just remember the fireman. So yeah, I loved him in Living Color. And then when I went to see and then Pet Sematary came out. I think Pet Detective came out before The Mask. For whatever reason, never got into it.
Well, it's like now I go back and try to watch those movies and I don't like them anymore. And I know I'll get shit for that, but it's just not my thing no more. Watching Jim Carrey act like
an
ass the whole time. Yeah.
Literally talking out his ass.
Yeah.
I love Dumb and Dumber. But I think it's saved because he's playing off of what's his name in Dumb and Dumber, the other guy.
Jeff Daniels.
I think Jeff Daniels is kind of what balances Jim Carrey a little bit, and which is why I really like Dumb and Dumber. But Jim on his own didn't really do it for me. But yes, take out the old Ernest movies, guys. Watch it with your kids. It's silly. It's family friendly. It's fun. So check that one out. And we're back to Peter. We're moving right along, folks, because we got a lot of movies. And now we're gonna get to the definitely out of left field Christmas movies.
Yeah, yeah. This is the opening scene in the movie, I think, with Franz Drescher and James Caan, I think, as well.
Yes, I saw that she was on there. Look at Kate. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Santa's sleigh, is that what we're talking about?
yeah, yeah. And I definitely
Yes.
think I owe Justin in particular, as well as many other people in the Talking Films group, for turning me on to this 2 years ago, I think it was. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
And somebody posted this saying, yeah, it's a fun Christmas movie. I looked at it, it was like Bill Goldberg as a killer Santa. And he's not,
Yeah.
it's not like Silent Night, Deadly Night, where it's a crazy dude who thinks he's Santa. He really is Santa, which makes the premise even more ridiculous. And it's one thing to have a ridiculous premise, but the execution's got to be there, and it's pretty spot on. Like, for what it is, it's a well-made movie. It's got the violent stuff like this. It's got the over-the-top kills. In addition to this, of course, he's got to spear somebody, and the guy he spears is actually the owner of a Jewish deli that he spears through the window. And he runs somebody down with a Zamboni as well. But it's got this little backstory behind it. Basically, the story is that Santa is actually evil. There's a reason why his letters of his name are the same as Satan. And he used to go on the sleigh every Christmas and just kill as many people as possible. And he lost a battle or a fight with an angel or whatever. And he had to promise that for the next 1,000 years, he was going to change his ways. And on Christmas, he'd be a good guy, bring toys to children. But now the 1,000 years is over and the gloves are off.
I love that premise.
It's a great premise. And it's largely told through the point of view of this teenage couple. The girl's got some hang-ups about Christmas, and the boys.
He's just annoying as fuck. No, I'm sorry.
Really? No, he's played by Robert Culp. I don't know what frame of reference I can give for Robert Culp. He's like veteran actor. I remember him mostly from Greatest American Hero, but he seems to know more about this than he's letting on. And it turns out he and Santa have a long relationship.
Oh, you're talking about the grandfather.
Yeah, Robert Culp.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was talking about the little boy. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the...
Robert Culp was in British American. Oh, look at that! I didn't know that.
Exactly. Yeah, he's like one of the main protagonists.
Cool. Yeah, I saw this, and that's one reason I love being in the group, because I get turned on to all these new movies. And I think it was Justin or maybe Scott. I don't know who posted the clip.
That's right. Let's look at the comments here. Santa lost a bet in a game of curling against an angel. That is right. I forgot that. Yes.
There's Justin.
I'm sorry, guys. I somehow, I don't know what's going on.
He lost in a game of curling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes it even better. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Let me see if I can find out whose name that is, who said that. That's Marcus Mallard, who gave us that comment. And one of you guys definitely posted the opening sequence like last week or so, and I was like, wow, I need to see this movie. I didn't know that was the opening sequence. Justin's on and off here. I think he got disconnected, but he'll be back on in a second. But we're going to move right ahead, and then when he comes back, we'll go back to his movie. Let me see. Give him another second. The guests will need to connect their mic and cam before he can add them to the stream. So, Justin, connect to your microphone and camera. Oh, there he is.
Am I on?
Just in time.
The hell? Hello?
You're on. Just in time.
This happened.
Just in time to talk some Krampus, which I saw for the first time last year on recommendation from you guys. But let's hear Justin's review of Krampus.
Well, first off, I fucking love it, so we'll go with that.
Good.
But no, it's just about a family getting together for Christmas, and the little boy, it gets him. You know how Christmas is. Your family, everyone bickers. You getting little arguments here and there. Well, this little boy ends up writing Santa a letter saying, I believe it's something. Take my parents or my family away or something like that. Well, anyways, when he wrote this, it brought Krampus and his little ghouls, to come to the house and play some cat and mouse. And what I liked about it was all the little, like I said, he brings like a Santa bag, and they put it in the house for who knows what reason when they find it outside by the door. And it's got all these like a teddy bear, then it's got, I don't know, all kinds of other little ghouls in there. It's really like Gremlins. It's got that Gremlins feel to it. And it's the director from Trick or Treat. So that, if you've seen that, kind of where that movie is going with. But, it's just basically all that. And, in the end, it's got a pretty good little tale to it, about forgiving family and, loved ones is what is most important. And Krampus, I mean, when he finally shows up, I mean, he actually looks really good. They made him creepy, his face, he's all hunchbacked. Pretty simple story, but the family members start dying. I mean, there's one scene where the sister gets killed or right off the bat. And I wasn't expecting that. But I do know that the director wanted to make it rated R, but no studios would pick this movie up because they wanted it at least be PG-13 because of Silent Night, Deadly Night, and other films that portrayed Santa in a bad way. And then, no studios wanted to pick this movie up. So he promised them that he'd make it PG-13, which he did. But it's still really, it's pretty creepy for a kid show and pretty graphic. I mean, you see kids getting eaten by certain things, and you got little elves running around or little gingerbread men. I mean, that's hilarious. Takes me back to Army of Darkness days with Bruce Campbell. It's just a fun movie. I think it'd be a good little double with Krampus and Gremlins together. Watch them on the same night.
Man. I think that's what I love the most about it is that it does have this light spirit. I didn't even know it was PG-13 until you mention it now. But when I watched it, that's what I loved is that it definitely has its dark elements, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I could show this to like my little cousin. Like it's like a good entry film before you get hardcore horror or anything. Like it's one of those good little entry films, heavier than Gremlins, but still watchable for like a young teen or something. Oh, love this, Kate. Maybe too much for your little ones. Kate's got the two cutest little boys, but I think it's a little too much for the little ones. But definitely, like fun is a good word to describe it. Even though it is
fun.
scary, it doesn't pack the horror. It's got Toni Collette, which is she's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, she's like the queen of horror now.
I know.
Yeah.
I love her. As much as everybody knows, as much as I hate Hereditary, but I love her in that movie. She's awesome. She's great. And so that kind of took the Hereditary taste out of my mouth when I watched Krampus. I was like, there she is, in a movie that I actually enjoyed. And the makeup effects and everything is just great. So that was a good catch that I got from you guys. Have you ever seen this one, Peter?
I have not.
Oh, man.
Scott actually trashed these movies, I think, 2 Christmases ago. He actually watched all of them because there are sequels. And I don't know why he watched all the sequels if he hated the first one that much. But I think Scott's actually the kind of person who just I'm talking about our friend Scott from Chicago, not
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Scott from the horror podcast. I'm like, what?
No, he would love this.
Yeah.
But actually, I think, even he said it with a bit of love. So maybe I'll check it out.
Well, the problem is like a lot of those Krampus movies, when that one came out, the big budget one, the one that we're talking about, that came out, then you had the B ones coming out as well. So I think he got those mixed up with this Krampus. Because there is no sequel to this Krampus. Not this one.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
This
I
is
don't
Yeah.
think so either.
this happened to my girlfriend last week when we were watching it. She didn't want to watch it because she was like, "Oh no, I don't want to watch it. They're really bad." And then I ended up showing her this one, and she ended up loving it. And she was like, "Well, I thought these had to do with the other ones." And I was like, "No, this is a different studio. It actually went big budget and actually gave you what you wanted, for a Christmas
Okay.
horror movie." But
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely worth watching.
yeah. I think he got it confused too, because I don't remember this one having a sequel, and it is
yeah,
pretty big
there's
budget, and it looks like there's Krampus, the Devil Returns. Like, nah, I don't
yeah.
think that has anything to do with.
Or Krampus
Uh,
versus Santa or something like
yeah,
that. There's a
yeah.
few
So
of
check
them.
it out, Pete. I definitely recommend putting this on your watch list for the holiday
All right,
season.
it looks fun.
You will
Hmm.
enjoy it. It's a really fun movie.
Yeah,
And now let's get to a classic Christmas movie. Mistletoe. Let's see if you guys know the rest of this line. Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it. Anybody remember the rest of that line? Because I
the only
was.
line I
I haven't
remember
seen
was when I was in the theater looking at Michelle Pfeiffer. I was like, yeah,
it.
That's
I'd
terrible.
lick it.
It's supposed to be mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it. It can be a kiss can be deadlier if you mean it, and that's
Oh
when
yeah.
that's when Batman and Catwoman realize, hey, you're Bruce Wayne, and you're what's her name?
Selena.
Catwoman, or
No, but
yeah,
what's
whatever.
her
Selena
what's her real
Kyle.
name? Selena
Selena
Kyle.
Kyle.
Because at the Christmas party, they repeat the line to each other, and they're like,
Yup.
"Oh shit, I
Yeah.
remember.
Yup.
I said that to you while I was licking your fucking face."
Yup.
No, this is a classic, y'all. I saw this in the theater, fell in love with it, and I think, and I may get some hate for this, but I'm pretty sure I love this movie even more than the original, as much as the original is a classic. But this one just connected with me a lot more, maybe because it was just around the age that I was ready to watch it. But I had the comic book, I had everything when it came to this movie. I had the little Batmobile. And it is a Christmas movie. It's set during Christmas. It's hardcore Christmas. Batman kills in this movie. So anybody crying about Batman killing people, he throws, the whole opening, there's a whole sequence where he's killing a bunch of motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it's Tim Burton. I think Tim Burton's going to show up a few more times on our list here. And he's just got that wonderful, beautiful gothic style of his. And it's Christmas with a little bit of an edge. So what else can you say about Batman fucking Returns? It's kidnapping kids for Christmas, and you know,
Yeah.
uh, dark, moody, and Batman. What do you guys got to say about this one? Because it's just fucking awesome for me.
Well, I love it. I mean, you've heard me say that forever now. Yeah, I love it. I love everything about it. I might agree with you saying it's better than the first one. Last year, I probably would have said different, but after rewatching both of them this year, I enjoyed the second one a little more. Just probably with Michelle Pfeiffer, just because she's probably the best looking Catwoman that's hit screen yet, in my opinion.
I agree.
And Michael Keaton, he does great. They have great chemistry. Then you got Danny DeVito playing a disgusting penguin, which is
Mhm.
cool. Christopher Walken, I mean,
Oh,
Christopher
Yeah.
Walken with a big old wig or whatever he's got going on, and yeah, I love it. It's a great film. I definitely recommend that to anyone. I do know Michelle Pfeiffer went through a lot of those cat suits though to try to get this movie made. It kept ripping on her, and she said it was so tight she couldn't barely breathe the whole
oh
time she
my
was
God! I
wearing
wonder
it.
what she was wearing under.
I don't know. Wish I was on the set.
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
We need some of those behind the scenes footage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I like about it is that, like, as much as I like the original Batman, I think this one, Tim Burton was like, all right, I got this. Like, I did the first one, it was good. And this one, he just went all out. Like, let me just go
Mm-hmm.
nuts and, like, just, it's on speed. It's like, he just
On
went
acid
crazy.
is more like it.
On
Mm-hmm.
acid, yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, you guys like the first one, but I was still kind of playing it safe because it was like first time. Is this gonna
Mm-hmm.
hit or not? And then this one, and the studios thanked him by, immediately getting rid of him for the third movie.
I know.
I
I
know,
know. And
Yeah.
but
Well, it wasn't very universally loved, man.
Well,
Oh,
that
what? Oh.
No,
it was Pete. The thing is,
it
that
did
they
well
gotta
at the
sell
box
toys. They
office,
gotta
but
sell toys, you know. And so
yeah,
this is before, Christopher Nolan came around and said, yes, these movies are for adults and not, we don't have to worry about selling toys. But this was
Hmm.
still the era of we need to sell this shit to McDonald
Hmm.
toys, and like we can't have 10-year-olds watching Catwoman lick Batman's face,
Right.
and having bad guys getting blown up and like Danny DeVito, I think, eats a bird. Oh no, he tries to eat the bird, but then she pulls it out of his mouth, and there's a whole lot of weird shit going on with S&M and bondage, and it doesn't market very well to the kiddies when it comes to selling toys.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And
especially
did
when
it?
the main plot line is like, I'm going to kidnap a bunch of you motherfucking kids for Christmas.
Mhm.
So it's marketing. So you notice that in the third movie, like they went back to a little bit more kid friendly so they can market those fucking toys. Um,
Mhm.
but it's stood the test of time. It's
It's
precursor
probably
to
my
Christopher
favorite.
Nolan.
It's probably my favorite Batman movie. I would
Oh,
say as of
really?
right now. Yeah. Yeah.
It's up there. It's up
I mean,
there.
I like the Nolan
Not
ones,
much.
but I mean, now that I keep rewatching them, you catch stuff here and there, but I don't agree with. But I mean, what all have we had? We had Nolan, and then what was it? Ben Affleck's Batman, and then
Yeah,
we
then you
got
had Schumacher. Schumacher came
We,
in. Schumacher
yeah,
came in with Val Kilmer. It was the next one was Val Kilmer with
yeah,
Nicole
yeah,
Kidman, and then you
yeah,
had Batman and Robin. I think it was Batman Forever, and then Batman and Robin,
yeah,
and it was just
yeah.
with
a
the bat
whole
nipples, yeah.
yes. The only thing I appreciate about that movie is how gay camp it is, and knowing how Schumacher was this very openly gay man who claims to have had sex with like 70,000 men or something, like some crazy number.
Whoa,
I know it's
wow,
insane. I know.
damn.
I know he was very busy. He was very busy, y'all. Uh, so I appreciate that about the movie, Batman and Robin. That it's just like the most gay camp movie ever
Mm.
created by a big studio. But it's a really bad movie,
I'm gonna
Nolan.
have to go back and watch it then, 'cause we just bought them, all of them in like a little set or whatever. So we watched the first two. So I guess I should check out Val Kilmer's take, and then George Clooney, and who was with him in that Batman and Robin? Was it
It was
Chris
Chris.
O'Donnell. Chris
okay?
O'Donnell.
And
Yes,
Alicia
yes.
Silverstone, was she in
And
that as well?
Alicia, yeah,
Alicia
she played
Silverstone was
Batgirl.
Barbara. Yeah,
After Clueless, yeah.
Yeah,
Remember
and
that?
what's her name? Arnold played Mr.
Schwarzenegger was
Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Yes,
Yep,
Uma
yep.
Thurman was Poison
Hmm.
Ivy,
right.
Yep.
and some dude played Bane, but I don't remember his
Yeah, he
his
didn't
name.
have any dialogue, and his face was covered the whole time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was definitely not the Bane from the comics. It was just this goofy kind of
Yeah.
monster creature. But I watched them all like maybe 5, 6 years ago just to do like a Batman marathon, and it's not unwatchable. You just gotta watch the last one with this complete tongue in cheek. Like this is just a gay man being given millions of dollars to
Yeah.
put a bunch of hot men in skin tight suits. So he went with it. Um, and then you're just like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. But definitely a good Christmas movie, and it still holds up. Get the kiddies
Hmm.
into it. Now, this one I had no clue why that this was had anything Christmas see with it. So this is Pete's James Bond movie.
Yes, I know. Well, I was really struggling to make a list, and that's why I'm kicking myself for not thinking of Ben-Hur. It's like, oh my God, there's a million other
Yeah.
movies you could have picked. Ben-Hur would probably have been better. But the fact is, I did watch this, I think about 5 nights ago, specifically because I was like, wait a minute, this is a Christmas movie. And it doesn't actually take place around Christmas or have anything to do with Christmas. But the Bond girl happens to have the name of Christmas Jones,
Mm.
and she is played by Denise Richards, who is
Oh,
cute
Ah,
as
yes.
fuck. She was a fitness guru and a model, and she was in Starship Troopers, and she's
Oh yeah.
adorable. And
Mhm.
yeah, she plays a nuclear scientist who does not dress like a nuclear scientist at all. But, she's very proud and feminist with her boobs hanging out of her tank top and in her short shorts. She still maintains her sense of a feminist, making her way in a man's world, slightly disgusted by James, but also irresistibly attracted to him, who's going to help him stop this plot by Sophie Marceau to blow up her own pipeline and kill M. This is actually the Kill M movie. The entire plot of the movie is an elaborate attempt to kill M because she abandoned her when she was a hostage when she was a little girl. Probably I don't know if it's the best Brosnan Bond movie, because I think they're all pretty good except for the crappy Halle Berry one.
Yeah.
But it's enjoyable.
I remember enjoying that one more than GoldenEye or Tomorrow Never Dies. Is that the second one?
Yeah, the one with Jonathan Pryce.
I remember when it came out in theater. I think I saw it like 3 times in the theater, actually. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And I love the ending where, I didn't know Christmas could come twice or something in the same year. So that's like the best line to end the movie. I mean,
no, that's one of the best lines in at least one of the best final lines in all the Bond movies.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a kick-ass movie. I forgot it was a Christmas movie or it was around Christmas. I just remembered her name was Christmas. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to watch it.
Around Christmas. I think it came out during the summer. It has nothing to do with Christmas except for that, but it is kind of a running joke throughout the movie.
Yep.
I like this little S&M torture thing.
This is a nasty scene. She's mean.
Oh yeah.
This is actually the only Bond film, I think, where he kills the girl. He killed Famke Janssen in GoldenEye, but she was like a sexual sadist beast. Well, this kind of looks like she's a sexual sadist beast. But her, he actually seems to kind of care for. And he does the hard thing and puts her down.
I don't know. Well, sexual sadist fiends are kind of running themes in some of these older James Bond.
Yeah.
I don't know. Justin, we got Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984. Oh, we got some tits here. I hope Facebook cut us out. Okay, whatever. Cover your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought of this movie. I mean, I just watched it the other day with, if you guys haven't, you should check out Joe Bob. It's on Shudder, where you watch a movie and he'll give you trivias and information throughout the movie. They'll go back to him with Darcy, the porn star, and they discuss these movies and give you a lot of cool little trivia. So we watched that the other day with this movie, and it turned out Oh, this ain't the one, though. My bad. It was part 2. Never mind. No, this is a good movie, though. I mean, if you want to look at some old school slasher, I guess, Christmas movie, this was one of the originals besides Black Christmas. But this was the first time, I believe, that they had Santa killing people, because this was so bad where, moms and stuff were out in the streets, with signs saying you're killing Santa. And yeah. And when it came out, the fact is for the first 2 weeks, it came out the same time as A Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
Yeah.
And it was actually doing better than Nightmare on Elm Street. And then they ripped it 2 weeks after that, and then it was gone for quite some time, I believe. I think they said like 10 years or something. It was gone. Maybe you could rent it. I'm not sure, but
I don't think so. I remember that it was like video stores were pretty sensitive about what they carried because it was still kind of a fragile medium then.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just basically what the plot of it shows when he's a little boy and he goes see his grandpa, what's really weird as fuck. And anyways, they're going back home and it's nighttime and you see a guy in a Santa outfit like robbing a store. And then he's hitchhiking and the mom and dad pick him up and the kid's like, oh, yay, it's Santa. And then, Santa kills the father, rapes and kills the mom. And then the little boy, takes off out into the weeds or whatever down the road and hiding while he's watching all this. And it's horrifying, actually. And then, they jump up, quite a few years later and he goes to he's raised by nuns or whatever. And, that could just screw anyone up. And, anyways, I think he's 17 or something working in a store and he sees Santa at and they're having their Christmas party that night, and he actually snaps and just starts killing all these employees. And it's just it's fun to watch to see how they did the kills back then. And
Some of
I
the
believe
kills were pretty good, man.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a couple good ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's good kills. It's a good film to watch. I mean, it's not something I'd watch all the time, but definitely check it out if you're looking for some scares and some very
Nice.
graphic scenes. I mean, it's a graphic movie for its time. It was pretty graphic.
I like those 80s slashers because they were very creative with the kills, and a lot of them were. Sometimes they feel even more violent than the movies nowadays because nowadays they just CGI everything, so it doesn't have that
Well,
same
like
visceral.
the death scenes, even though like the editor had to film those. It wasn't the director. The director, I think his name was Charles Seller or something like that. Anyway, the original director would not he would not film the killing scenes. It had to be the editor that came in and did it because it was too graphic for him to direct them. He didn't want to direct them.
Oh,
So yeah.
there's that
So
going for it.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and Siskel and Ebert shamed it. Oh hell, that for they had that like little TV show or something where they reviewed movies. They like shamed the whole crew on that movie. They were like, "Shame on you! It's disgusting."
They were good for that. They were good for that.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
they
did the same thing to
hated.
Maniac.
Yeah.
If anything, that probably helped out the movie.
Of course, yeah. People
It always does. It always does when the moms go out. It actually made some money. Look, it was made for $750,000 and it made 2.5 million. So it made its
Yeah.
money back.
Yeah.
The director is Charles E. Seller Jr.
Okay. Yep.
That's the director, and yeah, but us both Ebert and Siskel really were not fans of any of this slasher stuff. So it's funny to watch the reviews of any of those old classics. They really hate them, except for I think maybe they gave Halloween a little bit of love. I think they might have given Halloween, but
Halloween wasn't really gory though. That was kind of like just in your head, or I mean, it was just more of a boogeyman creepiness to it.
Yeah.
But
they pretty much were good for that, like Pete said. We're gonna get a few more slashers in here, guys. So for all you
I
slasher fans.
remember my dad's wife's father. So my dad's father-in-law, who was like this 70-year-old Dutch guy, walking in on me watching this movie in the scene where Santa impales the girl on moose antlers.
Ooh, yeah.
I believe she's topless too. And he just looked at me and shook his head like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" It's like, yeah, it's Christmas, man.
They actually redid that scene. I just watched the remake yesterday, Silent Night, and they actually kept that scene in it. That scene where he throws a chick on the antlers. Yeah. Pretty good movie. It's gory. It's not, it's okay. The acting's kind of off, but for the gores and prosthetics, I give anything props for going that way over CGI. So definitely check that one out. But
all right, we got a double header.
Yep.
And this is one of my favorites, guys. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Now, this is a really, really, really bad movie. So I suggest you watch it with the Mystery Science Theater crew. That's how I got hip to it. Mystery Science Theater 3000. And where, they watch the movies, you see their little silhouettes and they kind of make jokes throughout it. But it's so good. I mean, it's so bad that it's good that I think at one point I did just watch it straight, but it's really hard to watch straight. You got to watch it with the boys and their robot. So here's the plot line. Martian ruler Kimar is upset that the children of Mars are lazy and under the influence of too much pop culture from Earth. They are obsessed with the planet's television programs and don't want to do much of anything. In an attempt to get the kids peppy again, Kimar orders the kidnapping of Santa Claus, hoping that the jolly old toy maker will know how to cheer the children up again. But 2 Earth children are also nabbed, and this complicates things for Kimar. And that plot is not going to make this going experience any better. But that's pretty much it. They kidnap Santa Claus, like they watch him through like this telescope. It makes no sense because it's like they kind of hate the fact that the Martian kids are obsessed with Earth culture, but then they kidnap somebody from Earth to try to pep them up. It's like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it doesn't really make much sense. Bad makeup, bad editing, bad
Hmm.
acting, but it's hilarious to watch at the same time. It's like this feel good, shitty movie of the
Hmm.
season. So I highly recommend it. I know Justin, before we were on, said that Haley likes Mystery Science Theater. So
Oh,
watch
yeah.
it. I'll send you the link later of how you can watch it, watch this episode. And you guys will crack up. Just drink a lot of beer and enjoy this one. It's a classic. Classic Mystery Science Theater episode, too. Really good episode of the show. And in a classic shitty movie. That's up there with Manos, The Hands of
Yeah,
Fate. Peter and
yeah,
I watched that.
yeah. And I actually have seen it without the Mystery Science Theater commentary, and yeah, it works. It's unwatchable without that.
Yes, a lot of those movies are really unwatchable without the commentary, and I think this one is included. So, guys, that's the big asterisk. Don't try to watch this one without the Mystery Science Theater crew because you will probably not get through it. Um, But I mean, I have a love for really shitty movies, so I have a little bit of high tolerance. But even this one, kind of, it's like, yeah, borderline unwatchable without the guys in with their laugh tracks or whatever the commentary tracks. So check this one out, 1964, and you will fall in love with it. You definitely will. Alrighty, we're going.
Yeah,
Mel
yeah.
Gibson.
Yeah, I kind of regret this one. The reason I thought of this is because there's always those memes every year. If Die Hard's a Christmas movie, Lethal Weapon is, and those movies came out within a year of each other, so there is kind of this debate over which one is better. For me, it's no debate, and it's not this one. But last year, I did make a point of watching it either on Christmas or within a day or two of Christmas to see if, okay, is it a Christmas movie and does it hold up against Die Hard? Yes, it is a Christmas movie because it totally takes place around Christmas. There's a lot of Christmas themes, especially related to the Danny Glover character. He's getting too old for this shit. He just wants to, spend Christmas with his family. And he's got this crazy partner and this badass bad guy. And I was surprised at how underwhelmed I was by it because I remember, I think it was one of the first movies I owned on VHS. So I watched the shit out of that movie and I was like, man, this is like the perfect action movie. It's the perfect buddy cop movie. And when I watched it again last year, I was just amazed at like how many things I found wrong with it. Like I did not find, and it might be media, the direction we've talked about this before, the direction that Mel Gibson's career has gone, may have actually had an influence on my opinion. But I didn't buy his cop on the edge routine. That hairstyle is just, it's cringe. That's the most lethal part of the movie, man. And Mel Gibson's hairstyle, it's terrible. And I didn't really feel much drama until the end. So yeah, like again, I should have gone with Ben-Hur because this is definitely not a favorite Christmas movie of mine, although it used to be one of my favorite action movies.
There you go. I haven't seen this movie since I was like 12, so I couldn't tell you the first thing about it. But Justin kind of reminded me a little bit before we went on about the end scene there where they fight outside the house and shit. So I was like,
That
oh
was
yeah,
good. That's the best part of the movie. It has a good
yeah.
payoff at the end.
So I definitely remember that part of it. But I'll check it out again. I mean, I was kind of on a Mel Gibson kick for whatever reason because I'm teaching this little kid. Giving him history lessons, and then we watched The Patriot, and then right after we watched Apocalypto. So I was like, oh shit, I'm doing like a Mel Gibson marathon with this boy. So I'll definitely check that out at some point. I think we lost Justin for a second. Hopefully he'll be back on.
That's too bad because he's probably got a lot to say about this.
Oh yeah, he was talking a lot about it before we came on. Oh, there he is. Justin is
I'm
back.
back. I'm back.
What's your
Fucking
thoughts
piece
on
of
Lethal
shit.
Weapon? Lethal Weapon.
Uh, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
perfectly.
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I can't tell with these. I'm gonna get new headphones this week. You know, from what I remember, I liked it. It's been a few years, but we watched the director's cut of all these movies, and I do remember the first one. They actually added some scenes to show you Mel Gibson's, gone crazy, or he is crazy. They added a few scenes. I know one was something to do where he helped the guy jump off the building.
That
I guess
wasn't
that was.
new. That wasn't new. That was in the
Oh, it
original.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been so long I can't even really pinpoint what they added, but they did add some stuff to it. I do remember that, and they added to the second one as well. Actually, all four of them. But overall, I always think of Gary Busey because I love that guy. I met
He
him
was a
about
great villain. He was a great
yeah,
villain.
I met him like 8 or 9 years ago, and he was great. I mean, that
All
guy was
right.
awesome. He's freaking nuts. He went out and smoked cigarettes with us. I mean, he's crazy, but he's
Yeah.
good crazy. And Mel Gibson, it's right. The shit he's done, in public, it does really taint his roles and everything. But overall, I still like it. I don't believe it's better than Die Hard. I think Die Hard's a
No.
way better movie. Bruce Willis really killed it. But I'd still say check out Lethal Weapon, and I would say if it's not a Christmas movie, it's definitely set around Christmas, so it puts you in
Yeah,
the
it
mood at
is.
least. And they
Yeah,
got the music too. I think in the beginning when a girl jumps off the road or off out of the building, they got
that's right.
Christmas music playing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I like Lethal Weapon. I don't think they should make a part 5 like they're
No.
doing here. But I thought part 4 and 3 were pushing it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I dig it. It's just not as good as Die Hard, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie to recommend to someone who's who was born after it came out and has never seen it.
From that
Yeah,
era.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I would say, yeah, check it out. You might like it, you might hate it, but
yeah. I,
it's definitely like something that if you're a film fan, like a completist who
mhm.
appreciates all genres, you should see and form your own opinion. It doesn't mean you'll like it, but you should at least see it and decide for
Yeah.
yourself.
And Peter's right. I think the most lethal thing in it is Mel Gibson's
Yeah,
hairdo. I mean,
yeah,
it's quite a hairdo he's got going on there. So I
It's funny to me how he was considered a sex symbol. I mean, I've never
mm,
thought of him as an attractive man. I mean, this hair is even worse
he
than his
shows his
usual
butt in
hair.
this movie, although I think it's a body double.
I don't
yeah,
know.
I think you're right in that. Yeah, where his ass showing or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because he's got this beach house, and there's this one pointless scene of him in the dark looking out the window of his beach house with his bare
Hmm.
butt showing, which
Oh
apparently the
God.
only reason for that is to show his butt.
Yes, I know our friend Nina from Talking Films kind of likes young Mel, so
Oh
I think
yeah, she does. Yep.
for her.
Yep.
Yes, and
Hmm.
by the way, shout out to all the women in Talking Films because they are
Yeah,
so free to I like how in our group they just say what the hell's on their mind, and they
I
are some
know.
thirsty motherfucking women, and I love it.
Yes.
You can stay as thirsty as you want. It's
Yep.
wonderful. Because you got a lot of these groups where it's just the dudes that are thirsty over the women, and it's like I like
Hmm.
that in ours. It's like the women are like, I would do this and that. We're like, what? Even me, and I'm totally open with shit. I'm like, oh shit, you're not playing.
Yeah,
We're looking at you, Kate. We're looking at you.
Looking at Kate, looking at Nina, and a few
She loves
others.
her. She loves her Kurt Russell. I'll say that. Yep.
Yes, 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 yes. You thirsty women. And now we got more slashers. We got the 1974 Black Christmas. I got the newer one later, Justin. So save your thoughts on the newer one for later. But this is the 74 one.
Okay. The first time I watched it, I actually really didn't like it. I thought it was really slow and not a lot to it. And I watched it again with Joe Bob, and I appreciated it more. And I appreciated it more just because of the fact it's the same director it did A Christmas Story, like
yes,
5 or 6 years
yeah.
later. So it's cool to see him take a side of, like slasher horror. It's not the first one, like everyone keeps saying, and it's not the first POV shot of a killer, but I think Alfred Hitchcock did that first. And then, but just about a bunch of sorority girls, right before Christmas, hanging out, and there's a killer on the loose. It's killing people, a couple people around town, and he ends up at their sorority house, and girls start, one off to the next one, getting killed off. It's not bad. It's not bad, especially for 1974. It still holds up pretty well. I mean, I think I was more turned on by the fact that it's the same director that did the Christmas Story, so I appreciated that. Where he did like a really big family film, and then he did an adult version as well, and before, and that's about it with that one. I mean, it's good. It's slower. There's a little bit of gore, so which is cool. And then it's got that one scene where he puts saran wrap around someone's face up in the attic. That one's known, and I think that's on the cover of it. But overall, I mean, it's a fun little Christmas horror movie if you're just chilling and wanting to sit back and appreciate.
1970s slasher, 74. So that's pretty early. Is it like a slasher or just has some
It is
gore?
a slasher movie. It is a slasher movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really low budget too.
It's low. Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it was by the same director as A Christmas Story, Bob Clark, and I do believe he was still making movies in Canada then. So I mean, a Canadian movie in the early '70s would have to be like not just low budget, but low budget in Canadian dollars, and it looks like that.
Yeah. It's also got the Superman lady.
Margot Kidder.
Yeah, the one and only batshit lady. Yeah. I also read she was drunk the whole time through that, and she was late a lot on set, so they had a lot of hiccups with her, apparently.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I actually watched this for the first time last year because a lot of people rave about it. And I felt the same as you the first time you watched it. You said you thought it was kind of slow and boring and couldn't get into it. That was basically how I felt. It was like, okay, we get this setup where there's this killer on the loose. There's these sorority girls, and then they all get killed, and we don't really find out anything interesting about the killers. So I would, I would like to find out what the difference was the second time. You said it was like Joe Bob?
It's Joe Bob. It's on Shudder. He does like the TV shows where it's kind of, I don't know, he'll give you trivia and stuff. Like you'll watch the film for 10 minutes and it'll go back to him and he'll be sitting there with the porn star Darcy. And, he'll tell you some facts about it, what it went through, give you a lot of cool little pointers and tell you how they made it. Just cool little trivia, while you're watching. And plus he's getting drunk while he's watching it with you live, so you can go back and watch these and they're great. I mean, he used to be on TV years ago, doing like USA All Day, stuff like that all night, showing a bunch of dumb movies throughout his lifespan. But I mean, this one, the second time, Haley, my girlfriend, she still hated it, and I kind of appreciated it more. But I will say, and I ain't gonna say much because I'm sure it's on the list, but it's the remake. If you're wanting more of a backstory about Billy, that gives you the backstory on him, and it's gorier, and they actually amp it up where it's a little more entertaining than the original, I think. Okay. But I would say definitely check out Black Xmas, not Christmas, but Xmas, and see if you like that one. I mean, the babes are hotter, of course. The blood's there. They stuck with the prosthetics. There's no CGI in it, and it gives you a creepy, fucked up backstory about him. And there's a scene where with the Christmas cookies, you definitely have to check out. So. I recommend that one. I do recommend this old one if you just want to kind of see, the beginning of these slasher horror films. It's before Halloween. And a lot of people think Halloween was the first movie with the POV shot, which it wasn't. Like Christmas did it years prior. And before that, Alfred Hitchcock did it. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's slow. I mean, I guess it depends what you're drinking, what you're smoking that day while you're watching it. But
yeah, no, I just felt it's not so much that it's slow because it's really short. It's just that half the movie.
There's not a lot there. Yeah.
the setup of the sorority girls, and then the other half is them getting all killed, and that's it. Like
Yep.
there's not much explanation for why this is happening, what our killer's motivations are. But yeah, maybe I'll check out one of the remakes.
Yeah, don't no. Check out the 2006 remake. Don't watch last year's remake. You know what? I actually never sat down and watched it yet, but all from what everyone's telling me, there's no gore. It's PG-13, and they made it a women power, which is fine, but they
Yeah,
took out the main plot of Billy from Black Christmas. It's basically they stole the title and did a whole new plot.
right.
So I'm hearing a lot of bad things about it, and I've been tempted to watch it a couple times. You know, it's on HBO, and then when I go to hit play, I'm like, no, I'm gonna go check out something else. I don't feel like watching this right now. But I would definitely say watch the remake of 2006. I think that's gonna give you what you were wanting from the very first one. It's gonna give
Okay.
you the more blood and the more of a, like I said, the backstory. I don't want to spoil it, but it's quite interesting to say the least.
All right. Excellent.
Phil, have you actually sat down and watched these, or hello?
I'm on mute. Sorry, I'm back. I mute myself because I'm typing in the Facebook group.
Oh,
I mute myself because I got this real loud typewriter. Look.
oh, okay.
Right, but the no, what I was saying is we're going to talk more about the new one in just a bit because Peter put both of them, or Justin put both of them on their list. So we're leaving the slasher genre for a second and talking about the Grinch. I love the Grinch, guys. Yesterday, well, not yesterday, Monday, I had my last class of the year, ESL student, and we actually read the Grinch. And I hadn't read the
Oh,
Grinch in
Oh, nice.
years. It's been a long, long time since I had read the actual book. And it's a story, it's a prototype for many, 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 many stories after, I mean, but then again, it comes from A Christmas Carol too, which is a prototype for, like, somebody who's got a hard heart and needs to uh, learn their lesson. And the Grinch plays on that archetype, and it's so sweet. Now, I'll tell you what, full disclosure, I fall asleep most of the time when I watch this movie, and it's weird that I say that I like it because I do fall asleep because it's so slow and it's so like, um,
you're talking
you know,
about the original cartoon?
the original cartoon. Yeah,
Talking about. Oh, you're talking about the cartoon? I thought you were talking
yeah,
about the Jim Carrey movie.
no,
Only
no,
like
no, we're
30
talking about
minutes
the
long,
cartoon.
man. How can you call a 30-minute cartoon slow and
Right.
dull?
Holy shit, Phil.
I'm good for that.
They
Yo,
start and
I have
Phil's like,
this.
get to the fucking point.
I
Jesus Christ. Get
no,
off
but like,
that hilltop.
as soon as that guy starts singing like he's a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Holy shit.
So I know I've seen it all the way through at least once, but every other time I got, guys, I'm good at falling asleep on shit. And I
Sorry.
fall no, and the worst is I fall asleep on shit that I really love, like Star Trek. Like I'll put it on and I'll fall asleep after 10 minutes, but I love it. Like I'll eventually get through a whole episode and say, wow, this is incredible, but I just fall asleep. Doctor Who is the same thing. Like I love Doctor Who, but I put one of them on and it's like after 10 minutes I'm like so
Are
I
you
don't
are you
know.
watching these after you've been drinking or something, or having
No,
an
you know what
eventful
it is?
day?
I think it's just like it's so comforting. It's like a comfort blanket.
I
These
get
type
that.
Star
Yeah.
Trek, Doctor Who, The Grinch, that it just soothes me right away. Like I
Well,
just get in this Zen mode, and it's like boom, and I just fall asleep. It's not like when I was watching when I was dating this dude maybe like 5 6 years ago, and he puts in Eat, Pray, Love. That one I fell
deep
asleep on
prayer.
because I'm just not into these romantic movies. I
Yeah.
remember she started out talking about how she was going to India, and then when I woke up, she was in India, and I was like, okay, I guess she did it. And then I was like I don't know what happened. And then I just got to the love part at the end, so I was like, good for her. She ate a lot of shit. She prayed in India. Now she got her man. Good for her. But I fell asleep for 10 minutes into it. But no, this is like comfort blanket type stuff that makes me fall asleep. But I love it at the same time. So it's weird that I put it on my list. So I'll probably watch it again this year because I do usually watch The Grinch once a year, or watch in air quotes The Grinch.
Yeah.
And the other
You're
year,
gonna you're gonna sleep through the slow parts at least.
yes,
Yeah.
like the credits. The credit is usually the slow part. I like it way more than those Charlie Brown Christmas. I could never get into that. Although I do like that song. I don't like Christmas
Oh
music.
man, I love Charlie Brown. Yeah, I like it. I like the soundtrack to it, which you were just saying you like the song, but
What's that? Christmas time is here. What's that? Whatever that song is, it's real pretty. But the little bit of a nod I'll give to the Jim Carrey version. I did watch it out of curiosity, maybe I don't know how many years ago, and it wasn't unwatchable. It gets a lot of hate, but it's not terrible. I mean, it's
yeah,
good for the kids.
I love the cartoon. Obviously, the movie I saw it in theaters when it came out. It was okay that bringing you into that world. My issues with the movie that was slow and a lot of well, hell, the whole first hour. You know, you're getting the backstory of the Grinch going to school when he's a kid, and then how they treated him, and blah blah blah, to make this a movie. And it's a good effort. It's a good effort, but I wasn't really a big fan of the movie myself. I love the cartoon though. I don't find it slow in any parts. So we just watched that with Charlie Brown this past week, and we had a good time watching them. Get you in the
Oh,
spirit.
it
Yeah.
definitely will. And
Mm.
I'll give a little bit of
Yeah.
a shout out
And
to a movie that came out. Just one second, Pete. To just a
yeah.
quick shout out to a movie that came out just this year, which follows the same story as The Grinch, which is Alien Christmas. It's super cute.
Oh
It's about
yes. Yep.
30
Sorry.
minutes long on Netflix. So I recommend that. It's basically the same story, just that it involves this cute little alien who tries to
Hmm.
steal Christmas. But go
It's
ahead.
the Chiodo brothers, right? The brothers that made what's the clown one? Holy shit, I can't think of it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Really? They did that shit?
Yeah, that's the same brothers. Yes, yes.
Huh?
That's actually got them talking with Netflix now to possibly make a part two to Killer Clowns.
Oh, shit.
So keep eyes out and ears out for that one. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Go ahead, Peter. I cut you off. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I used to watch The Grinch on TV every year. It was one of those things like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the
Hmm.
Snowman that were on TV every year, and as a kid
Oh,
you had to watch.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you guys do know who the voice of the Grinch is, right?
Who?
Boris Karloff.
You're kidding
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I actually. Damn.
Nice.
Yeah,
Karloff?
that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It was probably his last major thing that he did before he died. And I have to say, I also love the song "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch.
Classic.
Yes.
You're a
Yep.
nasty, wasty skunk."
You mentioned Karloff, so of course we gotta say Karloff, sidekick, fuck
Yeah.
you!
Yeah.
Smell my shit! That slimy cocksucker can rot in hell for all I care.
Slimy cocksucker, actually.
That
Slimy
slimy
cocksucker.
cocksucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, classic movie. Ed Wood, for those of
Mhm.
you that don't know what we're talking about.
Yes.
But you reminded me of this shit. You just brought back some childhood trauma watching all these little the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, those little, like, I don't know, were they like stop motion kind of
Yes,
weird?
yes. Some of them were
Yeah.
really good. I can't
Go
remember the name,
away.
but there was
Uh,
this one that was like a sequel to Rudolph. And I think it might have been called Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it had Rudolph in it. And it was a sequel to Rudolph. And there were like these mean fire elves and shit. I don't remember the name of it, but I think it might have been Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And it was also in that category.
Yeah, I found it here. It's Santa Claus is Coming to Town, 1970. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was 1974. I like Frosty the Snowman, Nestor the Long-Eared something or other. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, that was a really Christian one. That's about the donkey who takes Mary to have Jesus.
Oh,
Oh
God.
wow.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones. I like this type of whatever. It wasn't claymation. It was just like stop motion ish kind
Yeah,
of.
it was good for its time. It's
Yeah.
actually holds up pretty well, actually.
Isn't it the same people that did the Heard It Through the Grapevine guys, the Raisins, California Raisins? Or
Oh,
am I wrong on
that
that?
was much later though. That was
Oh,
like
okay.
But it's a similar style. It's definitely a similar style because it doesn't look like claymation. It looks like they just use actual puppets and just stop motion them in a way that's kind of unique.
Right.
You got their
Mhm.
definite style. And I remember another one. I don't know if you guys watched this when you were kids. It was so boring. It was called I think it was called The Snowman. It was like this silent cartoon. It was really fucking boring. They used to show it to us when we were kids. Wait, The
Was it a
Snow.
torture class or what was this class that was showing it to you?
1982, The Snowman. There's a full version on here. I'll show it to you on the screen for a second, so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. But it was really boring. This one is it's just this kid with you see it on the screen,
Oh
and
yeah, the snowman. Okay.
oh, I think I remember seeing that when I worked at Blockbuster. Was this like
yeah.
around 92, 93?
And no, this was. I mean, here it says that it was from 19. The Snowman is an animated television film. Blah, 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 December 26, 1982.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
Because I'm pretty sure we had the video of this at the Blockbuster I worked
And
at.
this one is another one I fell asleep on, but it's only 26 minutes. So, but guys, it's a silent cartoon film. Like come on, you got
Huh.
but it's pretty. I mean, maybe I would appreciate it as an adult. So maybe that's a little shout out to The Snowman if anybody wants to see that at some point. But let's get back to our list here. We're more than halfway done, but we still got a little ways to go. And we're getting to the big guns now.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Die Hard.
Yeah, for me, this is the Christmas movie.
Yes.
Didn't really appreciate it as a Christmas movie when it first came out. I think I didn't even see it in the theaters, which is kind of unfortunate. But I did rent it on video when it first came out, and the Christmas thing kind of went over my head. It's sort of something that sunk into me after years and years of like, holy shit, this movie is on TV every year around Christmas. And why? Well, obviously, if you've seen it, the Christmas stuff is in there all the time.
Oh yeah.
Basically, our boy here, John McClane, has come out to LA from New York to see his wife on Christmas and try and repair their relationship. He goes to see her at a Christmas party at an office building that she's working at with this big Japanese corporation. Terrorists show up, not terrorists actually, robbers posing as terrorists, take over the building, and it's up to him to save the day. But there's recurring Christmas stuff a lot. The ho 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 bit. Now I have a machine. Ho ho ho.
Yep. Yeah, it even starts off with a Christmas story, don't it? Or I mean, a Christmas song. Sorry, Christmas song. I think right off the bat it kicks off.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we lost Pete for a second.
Yeah, I was having a hard time hearing him. I thought it was my phone.
Okay. But yeah, Die Hard for sure. I mean, I love this movie.
No, they
absolutely
play that Run DMC song too. Don't you have
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
music?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, there's a Run DMC song in this?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
It at the start, right? The limo driver.
yeah. Oh yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The most Christmassy, yeah, I got booted for a second. The most Christmassy thing about this movie is that the female protagonist, anyone remember her name?
No.
Holly.
Yes, Holly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Holly.
There it goes. They made it with the intention, and I think the director just came out finally to put the debate to rest. He says this is a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's coming straight out of the horse's mouth. So should not be a debate anymore. And classic movie still holds up. Saw this maybe six
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago again. I love them all
Mhm.
though, except for the last one. The last one where he
Yeah,
meets
the
his son.
Russia one. Yeah, it was. I thought that was the only one that really sucked.
I did. I
But
went to the theaters to see it, but I like all of them. Even that kind of the fourth one where it was kind of like tech terrorism, cyber terrorists. I thought
mhm.
that was really cool.
Well, I like the
Um,
unrated cut on that one. You know, they added all the swearing in it and the more
yeah, I
blood,
guess
more gunfight.
and
Oh
this
yeah, there's an
guy.
unrated cut. Yeah.
For those of you that don't know why I have a man crush on Justin, it's for these reasons. Because he always these little nuggets of information that make me happy. Although I
Yeah.
hate them, and I'm glad that you stopped doing those this or this. Oh no, you still do them, but you put some hard ones on there. Like, that's what I want to
Yeah.
strangle.
I
One
don't know.
thing
Sometimes I just
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
no. I was just saying. Yeah. Sometimes I try to think up some good ones, but then I get other ones where people are like, "Is this even a fucking test here? Like this one way over this one?" You know? Like, all right, I tried, but yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean, yeah.
I think
Go
you
ahead.
put up Lethal Weapon in Die Hard a couple days ago.
I did. I did. I think Die Hard actually won on that
Yeah,
one.
that
I'm
one won
pretty sure.
easily. A lot of people
Uh,
say Lethal, but Die Hard is way better.
Those two movies have the same screenwriter, don't they? They're both Shane Black, right?
I'm not sure if Shane Black actually wrote Die Hard. Possibly. I mean, it seems like it's his movie. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, for his script, Christmas time. I mean, he always throws in Christmas. Well, most of the time. And another movie, real quick, is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang for Shane Black. I like that one a lot. But
Right.
I'm not sure if he wrote Die Hard. I don't think he did though.
Stephen E. Souza and Jeb Stewart wrote Die Hard,
Okay.
according to
Okay.
But one
Nature.
talent who really started on this movie and who contributes so much is Jan de Bont. I know he was the cinematographer, and
Hmm.
this movie has this like wild, wide camera angle shots throughout it.
Yeah, it's
Even
very
in the
gorgeous.
and he went on to direct Speed. So
Oh, no.
obviously,
Oh, wow.
he learned something from that experience.
Wow.
Very cool.
Okay.
And that's the one thing that shocked me because I mean it's one of those movies that I watched as a kid, but it was like I always tell Pete during the podcast, these movies that you watch but you don't
Mhm.
really watch, but you just watch pieces of, you know,
Mhm.
whenever you happen to see it on TNT or whatever. So I like to go back and watch a lot of these from start to finish. And I was
Mhm.
shocked by how beautiful it was, like as far as like the film, the cinematography. I was like, wow, I always thought of it as just another one of those 80s action movies, but it's really well made, like real high, like stylistic.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
The jumping off the building scene is like one of the greatest money shots in action movie history. The
Yeah.
way they build up to it, it's like, oh my God, he's got to get these people off the roof. The FBI are trying to shoot him, and you got this intense music, and the bomb's about to blow, and he jumps just as the bomb blows. I mean, that's
Mhm.
really like one of the more iconic scenes in action movie history.
Absolutely. And it's Alan Rickman's first major role in a movie, I
Yes,
believe.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And he's like one of the top 5 villains of all time in that
Oh
film.
yeah. Oh
Live.
yeah.
sure.
And a
For
fun little
sure.
fact with that is Alan Rickman would always like blink, or he didn't like the fire with the guns, so they would never really want to show his face when guns were going off because he was always flinching. But they say you can see it in one scene where he kills that guy. It's all coked up trying to make a deal with him.
Yeah,
Where he shoots that guy. I guess if you really look, you can see him in his eyes like flinch a little bit from the trigger. But
And-
definitely his first role. Yep.
yeah. One of his best moments in that movie is they really dropped him out the window for
Yeah.
that scene. What they did was they they had like something 20 stories down to catch him. So he fell out the building, but landed softly. But he really got dropped out a window, and you can see it on his face. Like, that is legit terror.
Yeah. And that just proves right there Bruce Willis is awesome as an action hero when Arnold and Sylvester Stallone wouldn't do that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah,
You got Bruce Willis coming from what was the TV show?
exciting.
Yeah, and
Moonlighting.
then yeah, and then they weren't sure to even cast him because of that, and look what happened. We got what, 5 of them so far, and a commercial, a
Yeah,
battery Die Hard commercial, I believe.
and
Yeah.
he takes an awesome screen beating too. Like, one of my favorite
Hmm.
parts of this is how he gradually just gets broken down physically,
Oh
especially
yeah.
after he runs. Losing his shoes is a major plot point.
Yes, losing the shoes, man. I was gonna
Yeah,
mention losing
barefoot
the
walking
shoes.
on glass. Yeah.
Yeah, because NPR did this write up on just the whole fact that he loses his shoes. And I just thought it was interesting that they pointed that out. And it's such an important part of the movie, the fact that he loses his
Hmm.
shoes and everything that happens to him afterwards. So, yes, 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 yes. Great movie. We're going to talk a little bit more Die Hard, guys, in just a little bit, but we're going to move ahead. And we're going to go now, yeah, this was supposed to be Black Xmas, but I put Black Christmas. This is the 2006 remake. So, back to Justin on Black Christmas. So, you said you prefer the remake to the original.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm gonna get a lot of shit for it, but I mean, like I said, I was telling Peter, it's just there's more of what you wanted in the first one. If you were wanting some more, a little more depth to the character, kind of see what happened to him, like what's really going on in that house, and they give you the backstory. And it's, like I said, the prosthetics, I appreciate that. They don't use any CGI of all the nasty shit they do. And, I think there's even an icicle scene. There's a few different weird scenes, and like the cookie scene is, unforgettable. And, I just think it's more fun, if you're wanting to sit back and have a few cocktails and laugh at something and, say, holy shit, look at that from the gore, or, this death scene. It's just a good time. But, I don't know. It's just more to it than the original. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you didn't get it. The original was all about the, uh,
Sometimes it works, man. Sometimes it'll a remake will be better than the original. It's rare or equal. Like we've talked a lot about this before about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's my favorite horror movie of all time, and probably my top 10 movie of all time. But I thought that the
mhm.
remake was fine. Like it took the elements that you wanted more of, which is more violence, more gore, and it accentuated on it without taking away from the vibe of the movie.
Yeah.
So sometimes it works. It's very rare, but every once in a while they will say, "Listen, we noticed the limitations of the original, and we're
Mhm.
gonna honor it and just bump it up." You know?
They actually had one of the women. I can't think of her name right now. Sorry for not finding this one out. But there was a lady who was in the original, and then she's in the new one or in the remake as the head lady for the girls. Like she's in the movie still from the original. She wears glasses. I can't think of her name, but
Karen, I think, is the one you're thinking of.
yeah, yep, yep. So that was kind of cool. A little wink to the original. I mean, it's fun. Some people hated it. I saw it on Christmas. I actually went with a girl, and the place was packed when we went, and it was a good time. And I just watched it recently, the unrated cut, and I can't remember what they added, but it was fucking gory, and I had a hell of a time watching it. So, yeah, I mean, it's basically the same story, as the original, except for it gives you a little more of the backstory about the killer and some other surprises. But other than that, just good gory fun, and I'm a sucker for that stuff. So I definitely say check it out.
Yeah, I think in the original, Bob Clark was really just going to like make like the most basic horror movie you possibly could.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was pretty revolutionary, which was probably why it's got this cult status. But yeah, I could see how a remake could definitely improve on it.
Yeah. Like
Do
I
you think
said,
the
you just
Martin?
Which one? What?
Andrea Martin. I'm on IMDb, and it says Andrea Martin, who played Phyllis in Black Christmas '74, said in an interview that she hadn't thought about Black Christmas in 32 years, and it came out of the blue when Glenn Morgan offered her the role as the house mother.
Oh,
In,
okay,
is
there you go.
that her? I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's her. Yep.
Andrea Martin, isn't she the chick from SCTV?
I don't know.
Uh,
I'm IMDbing her. She was born in '47 in Portland, Maine. Let me see what she's been in. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Hedwig, The Angry Inch.
ooh, love that movie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uh, Will and Grace, but that TV
No,
show,
no.
right? That was that Canadian
Yes, yes.
kind of Saturday Night Live before Saturday Night Live stuff. Oh my
Yeah,
God, she's
sketch
been around
comedy
forever.
show. Yeah.
Black Black Christmas, Cannibal Girls. Mm.
Hmm.
But I don't see anything for S. Yeah, she did a lot of more horror. She was on the David Steinberg show.
Oh,
Oh no, she was SCTV. She played Edith Prickly.
Yes, she was Edith Prickly. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
76 to 81.
oh,
There you go.
right on.
And then
Yeah, I
later
just
she was on SCTV Network TV series, whatever. But anyway, cool. Good memory there.
I definitely say check it out. I mean, if you're wanting to watch something gory or more in the vein of Santa's sleigh, I definitely would check out Black Christmas. I mean,
Uh,
don't watch the new one though, 2019 or 2021, whenever it came out. I think everyone that actually saw it like hated it. Like everybody's hated it so far. I'm catching online, so I need to give it a fair chance. But I really don't want to watch something that took the title of two other movies and didn't even go with the original tale. It's something completely different about a woman getting raped and guys abusing women.
Yeah,
And
when I saw it, I was looking up, like the gifts and stuff, and then I put in Black Christmas, and I see that there's like these four girls, like
right,
and a black chick, and I was like, oh, I guess they're taking it literally, the title.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, it looks kind of like a chick flick, Black Christmas, not something I'd be into. Although the one black chick is hot, and she has a bow and arrow. But it's a feminist movie, so you're probably not gonna see any tits and ass.
no.
So,
I
but
know
that's
Carrie. What's his name from Princess Bride?
Carrie Elway.
Carrie. Yeah, he's in it. I
Oh,
know
wow.
he plays a big part in that movie, and that's the only reason I was interested. But I actually chose not to go see it last year around Christmas, and I was kind of happy I didn't because my cousin went, he hated it, and then word of the mouth came out, and then I just backed off of it. But I would see it just because of him.
But
I
he
loved
did
him
play
back in the
Ted
day.
Bundy once, so that could be interesting if he's cast as the killer.
I think he is the bad guy. I'm pretty sure he's the bad guy. I'm not sure if there is a killer though. Is it? Is that the route they're going?
it looks like there is one from some of the screenshots I'm getting.
Well, yeah, there's kills but no gore. It's like one of those movies where it goes to kill and it goes to the next scene, or how they do that for PG-13 now. But
Right.
I don't know. I can't say too much. I haven't really sat down and watched it yet. But
Yeah, there's
yeah.
a hooded killer. There's definitely a hooded killer that kind of looks like Doctor Doom in this movie. He's got like a
Well,
cloak and this metal mask, but it's all black. But this guy, I'm reading a review here. The guy kind of gives it a half and half review. But anyway, yeah, check it out and then tell us what you think. I'm definitely curious to watch this movie now that you guys have been talking about it because I've never seen the original or the 2006 one. So I would check it out. Well, I said we were going to go talk more Die Hard, and we will because I put Die Hard 2 on my list, and I'll give you a little bit of backstory, which is I had written a non-Christmassy Christmas movie list for my original blog way back in the day, and before I was like online a lot, and I had no clue that there was even this debate about whether the original was a Christmas movie or not. And just as a fan of the movies, part two is the one that immediately shouted out to me Christmas movie. Because I mean, it's literally he's in an airport, there's Christmas trees, it is Christmas. Although the first one also has the Christmas party and stuff. But um, it just it shouted out Christmas a little bit more to me, so that's why I put it on the list. I don't like part two as much as I like part one of Die Hard, but it's still a solid fucking movie. And hopefully y'all didn't hear me fart right now because that was a loud one. God damn it.
Nope. I got gremlins going on in the background, so I don't know if that's echoing out the fart noises, but
But there's there's snow, there's Santa Claus, there's a lot of Christmas trees. Dennis Franz is in it, and he has a holiday redemption story, in it.
mhm.
So there's he's kind of like a Scrooge at the start, but then eventually he gets his redemption arc. So it's got all the Christmas parts and pieces. So that's why I put it on there. And it's a decent movie. It's not as good as the first one, but it's still solid. It's still a solid Christmas
It's
romp.
really over the top though. Like
Yeah, that's
Die Hard takes credibility like about as far as you can push it, and this
Yeah,
one goes like 20 miles beyond that.
yeah.
I
That was
agree.
the start of John McClane being a superhero.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you guys know who directed that, right? Right after
Yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street Part
four
4?
or
Yeah.
three. Three. Was it three
No,
or
it was
four?
4. It was 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Mr. Rennie Harlan, or Mr. Gina Davis, we might as well refer to him as.
Right. Is that the same one that directed Predator 2?
Yes, I think he
I
did,
think it
actually.
is. Yeah, I think that is him. Yep. I
Yeah,
liked
taking the
part two.
sequel jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked part two, Die Hard. I mean, I remember when it came out, but I always remember as well, like Phil said, it wasn't as good as the first one by any means. I actually think part three is better than two for
Me
Die Hard.
too. Yeah, no,
But
I went back and forth, Justin, between three and one as my favorite. I
yeah,
can't. It's hard for me. It depends on the day.
yeah.
Two is probably. I put two probably even like behind part four. Like it's good, it's entertaining, but it's like Pete said, it's just over the top, and it feels a little bit like a redux,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
of the first one. So there's nothing like new and interesting about it. Whereas three is just totally out there with Samuel L. Jackson and just like it's
Oh
totally out.
yeah.
And four
Yeah.
also is totally different
Well,
movie.
what I liked about 4 was the time gap. Like you had this time
Yeah.
gap
Yeah,
where like little Lucy McLean is all grown up and she
Yeah.
hates her dad. You know, that
Mhm.
dynamic was a really nice aspect of that movie.
Yeah, I didn't hate part four actually. Like I just said, the unrated cut makes it feel like more of a Die Hard movie. You know, you got more
Yeah.
action. You actually got the yippee ki motherfucker, and the
Yeah.
PG-13 one. He goes to say that, and he shoots the gun off, or you don't hear, fucker. But
Yeah. Well, that's
it's
one thing about. No, go ahead. Please continue.
no, I was just gonna say Timothy Oliphant. I love that guy. So
Oh, of
him as
course. Yeah.
a villain is great, and then to hear him swearing and being nasty, it just gives it more of a feel. So if anyone hasn't actually
I'm gonna
checked out the
definitely watch
unrated cut,
that, man.
yeah, I'd
I'm
highly recommend that
I
cut.
really love
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like I don't even try to say like put asterisks next to it. Like I really like part four, and it's like what Pete said. The time jump helped, and it fit into the movies that were coming out that day. Like they managed to make it, like, with the big action sequences, the karate, the
hmm
real like cinematic kind of superhero style, and it works. With the big truck. Was it that? Isn't there like a truck scene in there, like where they're
Yeah,
yeah,
trying to
where it crashes into an overpass and explodes.
yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
yeah,
they went budget, like because part one, two, and three, of course, they're action movies too, when they have the big budget bits,
hmm
but it still feels like character pieces. Like it's like a smaller, there's a smaller feel to it. And part four really feels like big budget Arnie Sylvester Stallone type movie, and it works. And I
hmm
appreciate that about it. It's really cool, especially that bitch with the karate moves, man. She was
Oh
killing that.
yeah, yeah. She was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one,
You can't go too PC with these movies either because I mean
No.
if you look at the original, there's so many things in there that are so wrong, like him smoking at the airport, carrying a
Right.
loaded gun on an airplane,
Yeah.
a pregnant woman using Christmas to justify drinking alcohol. I mean,
Right.
you kind of got to stay faithful to that tone.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm gonna definitely check out. Maybe even after the podcast, I'll watch the unrated Die Hard because
Oh yeah.
got my interest peaked. Because that was the only thing that was missing for me. It was like, oh, it's not as hardcore as the original ones as far as the language, but it's a really
Hmm.
well made movie. And we're back to more hard hitting. The It's Peter.
Yes, it is. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say this is an awesome movie to see on acid. If you haven't, you definitely should. Um,
Mm.
want to clarify
Wait,
that all?
Peter, you have to
Yes,
stop. We have to stop because we have to say this. Talking Films in no way is
endorses
responsible for
drugs.
anything that may or may not happen to you. Take any illicit drugs. And Justin, the owner of Talking Films, does not, condone any of these actions. But go ahead, continue.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. First of all, this is called Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, and he actually didn't direct it. I will like mail one Hey Al to anybody who can name the director of this movie from memory without googling it. I don't remember.
I don't remember. Nope.
No, I don't either. But it's Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's as much a Halloween movie as a horror movie. I think everyone's familiar with it, so I don't feel the need to go into deep descriptions about the plot.
Oh.
But it is such a nice looking movie. Like, it's the first movie I can remember that really brought that whole stop motion thing
Hmm.
to everything that it could be. Like, especially Jack's facial expressions. Like, every little detail was perfect, and it was
Yeah.
twisted. Tim Burton may not have been the director, but it was his vision. He was the producer, and it has all that crazy Tim Burton shit, like the little elves who kidnap Santa Claus. I mean, that shit was bonkers, and it's dark enough to the point where like you wouldn't want your 6-year-old to watch it. Your 9-year-old will probably appreciate it. Your 6-year-old is probably going to have a lifetime of therapy from watching this. Yeah, so I kind of like this dark aspect. The MVP of the movie is probably Danny Elfman because,
Yes.
yeah, he not only did the score, which was beautiful, but he also is the singing voice of Jack Skellington.
Mm.
Pete with the trivia. I didn't know that. By the way, the director is this guy named Henry Selick. So
Uh,
I had to Google that though, so you don't owe me one hail.
okay. Yeah. So Danny Elfman does the singing voice for Jack, and he's great. A lot of good voice acting in there as well. You got Catherine O'Hara, who is another SCTV
Oh yeah.
veteran. She did the voice of the chick with who has the arm that keeps falling off. William Hickey played her master / creator. He's a great old guy who most people just remember as playing quote unquote the old guy in a lot of movies, but he has a great voice for that role. Chris Sarandon from Fright Night and a number of other less famous movies plays the speaking voice of Jack, I believe. And there's another really famous voice in there that is escaping me now. Oh, Pee
My
Wee Herman. Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee Herman plays one of the elves who abduct Santa.
my
Oh.
favorite is Ken Page as the Oogie Boogie Man.
Oh yeah,
That was
he's
it.
great. He's great.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, if you're old enough to handle like all the dark imagery, like I seriously think there's something wrong with Tim Burton because like If you asked him to make a movie about, say, Nelson Mandela, he would probably turn it into like a psychedelic drug fantasy. That's just like, that's his automatic first instinct.
Yeah. You
And
definitely know you're in a Tim Burton picture when it starts. Like it just has
yeah,
that atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
definitely.
it has that vibe. It's dark and it's disturbing. It's definitely not for young children, but it's accessible to children in like the 9 and up range.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I think no, I don't think. I know I saw this in the theater, and I'm not sure when did this come out, this movie?
93.
Oh, it's right there on the screen. So I was 12, I was 12, I guess. And I loved every second of it. And now that you mention that with the stop motion, yeah, like watching it, that's what just drew me into it. I think the last movie I had that experience with, as far as animation goes, is the Spider-Verse that I
Okay.
saw in the theaters. And it was just
Mhm.
like, oh my God, I've just never seen anything like this before. Like they took that 3D animation and just said, this is what you've been waiting for as far as what we can do
Oh
with
yeah.
this shit,
Yeah.
and it just blew me away.
Mhm.
And this movie did that for the stop motion. It's like, okay, you thought stop motion was cool. Look what we can do with it. It's just gorgeous to look at, and it still
Yeah.
holds up.
Mhm.
So I'm sure most of the people in our group have seen it. So we're just gushing over it, but that's because it's that good. Now I got a
Yeah.
Yeah.
question for you, Justin. End the debate. Is it a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
Oh shit. It can go either way, honestly. First half's Halloween, second half's more Christmas. Shit. I guess I'll say Christmas. I don't know. But around Halloween, I was wanting to watch it, then. I think I watched it
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago and it felt like a Christmas movie. But then again, you watch it on Halloween, it's going to feel like a Halloween movie. I
Yeah.
think that's the good thing about this movie. You can use it or watch it for any time on these holidays and it works. I think he did that beautifully, mixing it both up. Because I believe Halloween is Tim Burton's favorite time of the year, or maybe Christmas, but there's a reason why he mixed it all up and got fans asking that. But I would say I guess a Christmas movie in the
I
end.
yeah, I go more Christmas. What about you, Peter? More Christmas or more Halloween?
I would say probably more Halloween just for the darkness of it, but I think it was intended as it is, which is because I mean they're 2 months apart, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um, so I think it was intended to be what it is, like an incomprehensible mishmash of the two things. So I don't think you can really like define it as one or the other. Burton obviously intended it for it to be both. Um,
Right.
so I don't think it has to be one or the other. I will say
Yeah,
though, I love Jack as a character. Like he's a
Oh
guy
yeah.
you can root for. He's misguided, obviously, but he's got a good heart for a skeleton.
Yeah.
yeah. And it came out. It did come out on December 24th. So they
Oh
definitely.
really?
I
Oh,
mean,
Oh.
so
that's what it
wow.
says on Google, but then it says in Brazil. So I don't know what that means. Oh
Oh
no, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Release date. So in Brazil, it came out on Christmas Eve, which is weird because Brazil is such a conservative country. But in the U.S., it was released on October 29th. So it came out on Halloween for the Halloween crowd, definitely. And then we got it at Christmas, which is
Yeah.
weird. But anyway, yes, 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 yes. Lovely movie. And thanks, Kate, for bringing up Edward Scissorhands, which is another Tim Burton classic, kind of got
Uh.
Christmassy feel, even though it kind
I've
of takes place.
only ever seen the porno version of that.
Oh boy,
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Edward Peavens. Yeah, it's a classic.
oh, I like that. Oh, do I hear beer snapping? This is what y'all need. I can't wait to get some beer. I'm already ordering a burger because it's late down here. Um, and let's move ahead, but definitely check that one. And now we're back to Justin. National
Oh.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Well, I mean, what more can you say about that movie? I mean, everyone knows that movie.
Yeah.
That's always my go-to every year. It's a shame I've recently found out. It's funny because you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, we've known this." Where Chevy Chase back in those days was hard to work with. So Chris Columbus, it was actually the director at the time, was getting ready to start filming, or he was filming, and him and Chevy Chase got in such a bad argument of where the plot was going to go. He ended up quitting, and he went to go do Home Alone instead. I think his name's still credited on that movie though, but he didn't direct. I think over half of it. But yeah, that's always a go-to Christmas movie for me and my family. We always love watching Chevy Chase. I mean, we already watched it this year, I think, a couple weeks ago. But that one's always gonna have a good place in my heart. Yeah, just a good, feel good, laugh out loud movie, especially with that crazy ass Dennis Quaid. Let's say.
Yes, and Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid, yeah, as cousin, or was it Eddie?
I haven't seen this in a long time.
No, I'm the same, man. It's
Oh,
weird 'cause
really? Oh, yeah. It's a fun movie though. I don't know. I mean, it goes. I think it's probably the best second out of the series. I mean, Vacation's the best, but I don't know. I liked it.
The thing I remember about it most is Chevy Chase's profanity-ridden rant over getting his Christmas bonus. Like, that's the thing that really stuck out from that movie.
What I remember of it, when I haven't actually sat down and watched it in a while, was the cat getting electrocuted and fries under the chair, and then the tree gets lit on fire from the one guy smoking a cigar, and there's that sled scene where he's putting that extra shit from his company on the sled to make it go faster in the snow, and then he takes off, and it's like, I don't know how fast it's going, but it's going really fast where he's going through outhouses and shit. So, but I don't know. I think it's fun. I mean, yeah, it's cheesy. And, this time when we watched it, I kept saying many things like, oh, this is bullshit. How he gets the tree. He didn't bring a chainsaw. So the next scene, it shows this huge ass tree on top of his station wagon, and with the roots, where it's, implying that he got his station wagon to pull out the Christmas tree. And you're thinking, oh, bullshit. That could never happen. But, a lot of those moments in the movie you catch, but it's still a feel good, funny movie.
Well, that's kind of like how Wonder Woman got her armor at the end of Wonder Woman.
Give it 2 thumbs up.
And I were like, what? Man, I know as a kid, my parents love all these National Lampoon movies. So I know I've seen this movie at least 5 or 6 times, but that was like 20 years ago. So it's one of those that I would have to sit and rewatch. I know I love them. From the Vacation to this one. I think there's a third one, right? There's a European Vacation too.
Yeah, European's the second.
But it's actually really funny too. Eric Idle has a recurring role in that movie, which is really funny.
Yeah, I would just have to rewatch it because I can't remember anything for most of this. Like, I know there was the one movie where the grandma died and they put her on top of the trunk or something.
Yeah, that was the first one. Yep.
And then
because the European one.
I know they got stuck in the roundabout in the European one. I remember that scene.
Well, yeah, then they had the topless women in it, and the movie was still PG-13. They had topless women. I think they said the F word a couple times.
Yeah. That was
and it was still PG-13. Yeah.
When I was about 13, 14. And those were the movies that me and my friends always wanted to go see. Like, we would look in the newspapers and we would look at the ratings, right? Like PG for what? PG for profanity, nudity, violence. It's like, oh, okay, we don't know anything about this movie, but we're going to see that motherfucker.
Yeah, I remember doing that too. Yeah, they stiffened up their rating systems. But yeah, that's a good pick, Justin, because it reminds me of having to go back and watch some of these old classics. And that was definitely when Chevy Chase was still in his wheelhouse before he kind of just fell out of favor for whatever reasons. And I do know he was hard to work with.
It was after, actually.
It was a little bit after, but not that much. Well, how many other, I mean, he had that movie.
He did Vegas. He did the Vegas one.
Oh, he did. What's the one
Yeah.
where he was a detective, Cliff or something like that?
Oh, Fletch.
Fletch, yeah, that was
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
a decent movie, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
I
around
like that one.
95, 96 that he was kind of done,
86, 86
And
was
this
the
is
show.
89. And this is 89.
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
had like
So yeah,
another
this is pretty
three,
much the
4 years.
tail end.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just know on Howard Stern, Howard would make fun of him every fucking morning because of what Justin said. He was just an asshole to work with and just an asshole as a
Mm-hmm.
person, but real funny
Well,
comedian.
his whole story was that he was an original cast member of Saturday Night Live,
Oh,
and
and he
he
broke his
was the
back,
first
right?
person. Well, I don't recall that, but he was the first person to leave Saturday Night Live to make movies, which everybody does now. But at the
Yeah.
time, like people were expecting all these big things of him. And one of his first movies, he co-starred with Benji, which is probably before your guys' time. But Benji, really popular movie dog. It was like it was a
I remember
terrier, I
Ben.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a movie with Benji where
No
he
shit.
was reincarnated as Benji. It's called Oh Heavenly Dog. I remember seeing that. Yes, in the theaters in 1981, I believe.
Wow.
But yeah, that was Chevy Chase's big promising movie career.
Oh.
Goodness. I
So
just know people from even the Saturday Night Live cast didn't like him too much, and he had his big beef with Saturday Night Live because he had a back accident, like he did, because he did a lot of those kind of falls on the show. What do you call them?
yeah,
The Pratt
Yeah.
Falls. I think the
Pratt's.
name for it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Pratt Falls.
Yeah,
And he really fucked up his back, and then he just kind of soured a little bit on it. But whatever. Enough
Yeah,
of Chevy Chase.
I'm pretty sure Bill Murray and him had some issues, and
but they weren't on
both of
at the
them
same
did
time.
Caddyshack. Yeah, I know they were. They didn't really care for each other, and they had to do that one scene in Caddyshack where they were together. But I remember reading that Bill Murray and Chevy Chase, yeah, they had a hard time because I think Bill Murray was the replacement of Chevy Chase on
Yeah,
Saturday Night Live.
yeah, I believe so. But he
Yeah.
was a problem too. He was like this Irish American alcoholic with a violent temper at the time.
Oh, God.
Well, hell, they were all hanging out with Belushi, you know. So
Yeah. But that's the thing about Chevy Chase. Like everyone thought Chevy Chase was like the big star of Saturday Night Live,
I think
and I
he
don't
felt
think it. Well, I don't know. I mean, when he left the show to do movies, like people expected great things of him. And I don't think it was really until Belushi died that people realized that he was the best thing about those seasons.
hmm Now, he was funny in Saturday Night Live. But anyway, enough on that. I'll definitely check out this because it's been a long time since I've seen these Lampoon movies. And my pick is South Park Christmas episodes, guys. I mean, I remember watching the very, very first episode of South Park, and it's incredible that it's still on. And as shocking as it was, I was like, okay, but there was Beavis and Butthead before and Liquid Television, so it was
Mhm.
shocking, but not like, oh my God. And I used to listen to Howard Stern every morning. But when they went after Christmas, I was like,
Yeah.
these motherfuckers are crazy. They're out there. And I
Mhm.
love
Yeah.
every minute of it, with the little Christmas tree. And then they have the one also where I think Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha have like a death match. There's like so many crazy ones, which I don't know how these boys survived. They didn't get any
Good
mail
for
bombs
them.
sent to their homes, or maybe they have. But yeah, I mean, they're all online. You can find all these old ones and the new ones. I recommend, by the way, their pandemic special that came out this year. That was really
Oh
funny.
yeah. That
Okay.
was funny. Which I believe that's streaming if you're looking to find it, if you can't find it other ways like we do. I think it's
Mhm.
on HBO Max. I think
Oh,
that's where it's
cool,
at. That's the
cool.
home of South Park now. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Yes. So I love South Park. It's not a show that I watch all the time, but whenever they have a special or anything like that, I'll usually check it
Yep.
out. And they're usually on point. It's incredible for me how on point they still are
Yeah.
20 years later, because you look at
Yeah.
The Simpsons, which, it's still a decent show, but it's not the same level that it was maybe its first 10 years or so,
Yeah.
as far
Right.
as how irreverent it is and stuff like that. In South Park, just seems like it gets more and more irreverent and not giving a fuck each year that passes. So good for these boys. Love my Christmas specials.
Yes, yes. And let's not forget, we talked about Charlie Brown Christmas.
Uh huh.
We cannot forget Charlie Manson Christmas was brought to us by these guys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
You guys haven't seen Merry Christmas, Charlie Manson?
No,
Uh-uh.
never even heard of it.
No.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, Charlie Manson escapes from prison and he befriends the boys. And he's like, I used to have a family, but they weren't my real family. Now I know the real meaning of family. And
Oh my
Merry
god.
Christmas, Charlie Manson.
This is from season 2, episode
Yes,
16. So this is
yes,
old, from 96. No, 98,
yes.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Oh, I'll check that out, definitely. I definitely
Yeah.
missed that one. That
Merry
was
Yeah,
early.
Christmas,
I'll
Charlie
be checking that
Manson.
out.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah,
He's got like
so
the little swastika in his forehead and everything.
very nice. All right, so big ups to the South Park guys. They always bring a lot of Christmas cheer for those of you who aren't easily offended. And we're almost at the end here. Now we got ourselves some Black Mirror.
Oh my
Oh,
God. Yeah.
yes.
This one made me cry, man.
Mm.
This is a really sad show. It's not a movie, but it's a movie-length episode of Black Mirror, starring the most excellent John Hamm of Mad Men fame. And it's about these two guys who live in a cabin in the Arctic, apparently. We don't know why they're there, but apparently they're working together and they don't know each other that well, but it's Christmas. So they decide to tell each other their backstories. And it kind of devolves into these 3 Twilight Zone style anthologies. John Hamm has 2 backstories, and his buddy has one. And then, of course, in typical Black Mirror fashion, it all ties in neatly in an ironic and tragic and sad ending.
Yeah.
But what it's really about is the social media habit of blocking people. In the society that they live in, when you have a falling out with person, you don't block them on social media. You block them in real life, so that they become. You can see their silhouette, but you can't interact with them, and they can't hear you. You're invisible to them as well, but you know they're there. And it was kind of, first of all, like, the story's brilliant in the way it unfolds. It just sucks you in. Very, very sci-fi, very Twilight Zone-ish, but it did like make a commentary about this habit we have of just blocking people, because most of the time it's of no consequence. Like, you're in a group, somebody calls you a fucking asshole, it's like, okay, I'm gonna block this motherfucker, and you don't know them, they don't know you, it's not a problem. But when somebody that you actually like and have a relationship with blocks you, it can be pretty traumatic. And I think I can't speak for Justin, because Justin's a really nice guy, but Phil and I are assholes. So we've both been blocked by people that we actually liked, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck?"
I know this. I watched this maybe 4 years ago, so I can't remember every little plot point, but you reminded me a little bit of it and the twist ending, which I won't give away completely.
No, don't give it away.
Yeah,
So-
that's it. That's the
It
part that
totally
makes you want to commit
sucks you in.
suicide on Christmas.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it sucks you in. I liked the second season of Black Mirror a lot. I think this is between the second and the third season, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a special Christmas episode because back then we had to wait like what, a year, 2 years to even get like 4 episodes or something.
Well,
yeah.
They
that's
had you
maybe
wait.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then when it went to Netflix, season 3, I thought was okay. You know, that latest season though, I don't think I was a big fan of it. I don't know. I have to go back and rewatch them.
See,
But
that's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say I remember the Christmas episode was one of my favorites though. That one and Black Bear, and I even liked that Juno one or the one about the girls
Oh,
where they
that's a
can go.
beautiful
Yeah,
episode.
I really liked that one because it went a different direction. I kept waiting for something horrible to happen, and it actually
Yeah,
ended on a good note, and it made me feel good. I'm like, oh wow, good job, to the
Yeah.
creator, writer. But
This one
yeah.
doesn't make you feel good.
no,
You're just
no,
waiting for the shoe to drop. But I'm with Justin. Like I think I liked the show better when it was on BBC, and
yeah,
then when it went to
yep,
Netflix, it still has its flavor, but it
mm-hmm,
just didn't grasp me as much as the first one on BBC. And yeah, this was like a cap off to that, and I just thought it was fucking gorgeous. And I didn't know
mm-hmm,
that it was like a kind of almost feature length. It's 74 minutes, not like a full movie. But I didn't know it
Yeah.
was that long. But yet I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I was like, what the hell
right,
is going on? Really well acted, really beautiful to
mm-hmm,
watch. And that
Yeah.
whole idea that Pete was talking about with, yeah, when you get blocked by people, it's like people don't, it's like they don't realize there's an actual human being on the other side.
right,
And they'll block you for like the dumbest reasons. Like you haven't even said anything personally to them, but they see something that you posted on your wall that maybe they disagree with. And it's like, oh, why did you block me? But you get over it. It is what it
mm-hmm,
is. So definitely recommend this for those that either haven't seen Black Mirror at all
mm-hmm,
or that want to see some of the good stuff from back when it was still on the BBC. Definitely worth watching. Definitely.
mm-hmm.
But it's depressing as fuck.
It
Yeah.
is. It'll put you in a depressed mood. So if you're feeling down during the holidays, don't pick that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
Especially
pick.
if you're depressed about being alone on Christmas.
Right. Yeah, do not watch John Hamm, no matter how much you like him. But
Yes, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Or watch the one right after that Pete was talking about. Justin was talking about with the two lesbian
oh
girls.
yeah.
That,
I
that
think that
was,
was a beautiful
You
story.
almost
I
said
mean,
bitches, didn't you? You almost said bitches and you stopped yourself.
I know I'm terrible. The yeah, that one will get all the that one has all the feels, and I think it's the first or maybe only episode that won an Emmy for
yeah.
best
Yep.
whatever the hell they give Emmys for. So it was
Mhm.
worth it. But this one, I believe, deserves all the praise alongside that one. But all right,
Mhm.
I can dig me some Black Mirror, and I had actually picked that one with Peter, and I picked this one with Justin too on my list. The Muppet Christmas Carol. This is on my list. So it's on you, brother, Justin.
Hold on. All right, I'm back. Okay. Well, I mean, it's the tale on A Christmas Carol. It's just the Muppets version, but I liked it. It's I just like watching the Muppets. I think it's really cool how they do it. Move them around, and the stories are already always really nice. This is kind of around the what when Henson died, right? Like I think
That
his
was
son directed.
after. I think it was after.
I think
Yeah,
yeah.
because I'm pretty sure his son did this one, Brian. Or
Mhm.
yeah, yep. Just your typical Christmas Carol story, but with Muppets. And I think Michael Caine did really good playing Scrooge. Um, Miss Piggy with her two twin daughters, which was Miss Piggy. Like three Miss Piggies running around. I just just put you in a good mood while you're watching it and make you feel good, for the holiday. And there's not really much to say else about it, really. It's just it's a good family film, and the Muppets are cool. Kind of give it a little more spice to the story, a little more, make it a little more interesting. Kind of like Scrooge with Bill Murray. Their version was, comedy. This one's comedy plus, it has heart. So definitely recommend it for the little ones, especially.
I'm with you. I love almost anything Muppets, and what I love about the
Mhm.
Muppets is that it's for kids, but it's really not. I mean, some of
Right.
they're so subversive with their humor,
Mhm.
so it works for the kids and the adults.
Mhm.
And I love this one. And it always weirds me out because when they talk about Muppet movies, they talk about the original and then like that big comeback movie that they had, the Muppet,
The Great Muppet Caper.
yeah, or something like that.
Oh,
There was even one before that. The Muppet.
Manhattan
No, that was
Muppets.
after.
No,
Oh,
it,
Great Muppet Caper was the second, man.
no,
yep.
but it's like for whatever reason they don't. Not Muppets Most Wanted. Like they've made a million Muppet movies, but they really only consider the Muppet movie and the Caper, of course. But then it's like it's almost like they didn't make any more movies until 2011 with the Muppets, which was a big studio flick.
Well, the trilogy was the Manhattan, and then
Yeah,
the
Muppets Take
Caper, and
Manhattan
then
was
the
the third
original.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those
yeah,
were the
yeah.
original
That was
trilogy. Yep.
exactly. So that was 1984, and then 92 is when they start these ones that, for whatever reason, people like. I don't know. It's like they don't consider these actual like big studio Muppet
Well,
movies
I think it's
children.
probably because of Henson died, though.
Yeah, it's a lack of
So
Henson.
yeah,
I
so his
love
son
all
had
of
to
them.
take over.
I watched Muppets from Space in the theater. I love the Muppets, the Treasure Island in '96. So I love all of them. But I mean I did like 2011's kind of the Muppets are back. It's just called The
Yeah,
Muppets.
I took
That's
my
a pretty
son to see that one. But that
with
movie got blasted a lot by the far right.
Oh,
really
Did you see any of that? Yeah, yeah.
no.
Fox News was like accusing it of instigating class warfare because
whoa.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's Fox News we're talking about here. They were saying like it was instigating class warfare because like fuck the Muppets, they can't pay their fucking rent. Like they need to get out. They don't own the Muppet Theater anymore. They're like, you got to pay your rent or find a cheaper place to live, motherfuckers. Fuck the Muppets.
So this is
Oh,
the Muppets Rocky Five then, where it's
Basically,
they lose everything and they got to work for it and yeah,
I
make it
love
back
that.
or whatever.
Look at this. It says here that the Muppets is nothing but liberal anti-capitalist propaganda in an unintentionally hilarious segment titled "Are Liberals Trying to Brainwash Your Kids Against Capitalism?" Follow the money host Eric Mulvey goes bananas on the Muppets' unjust persecution of the movie's villain, a greedy oil magnate named Tex Richmond. Oh shit, I gotta watch this now. Yes. See, this is why we do love Fox News at the end of the day. And we wish it all the success ever because that's where you get stuff like this. Oh, this
Hmm.
is wonderful. I got but again, like they marketed the movie as like the comeback, the first movie since like the originals. I'm like, man, there's this whole slew of movies through the 90s that I love, and this is one of them. The Muppet Christmas Carol. So I definitely recommend you watch it with the little ones. I actually don't like A Christmas Carol, like the story. I think
Right.
it's pretty.
yeah, that's the problem I have with like Scrooged and this and all subsequent attempts to do it. It's still basically the Christmas Carol, and I just
Right.
Yeah.
don't like a Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I
Hell
don't
no.
either. I don't either really. But the Muppets, I did enjoy it the other night, and Scrooge, I love Bill Murray enough where I could buy it, But I agree with Peter. It's not that great of a story. So
I know. And well, Charles Dickens in general, I mean, we were forced to read a whole bunch of his stuff in high school, and I
hmm
just never got him. I mean, it's like
yeah,
whatever. But Muppets can make almost anything watchable, including this. So I recommend it. I recommend
I
anything.
recommend it.
Have you seen, by the way, the new show? Because it got some pretty good reviews.
I have not. My girlfriend, she has. She said she liked it. She said it's more adult humor
Yeah.
in this one. So I don't know much about it. I heard it got canceled, and then now what? Disney owns them. or something. I
Oh
think.
God,
Disney
he owns
owns everything.
Oh
Yeah,
no, they got
Disney.
another new show out though, don't they? On Disney Channel, I think it's current
Yeah, it's
right
like
now.
came out
Yeah.
this year, I think.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, that one I don't think got canceled, but the one before it was on ABC or something,
Oh, I
where it
remember
was.
that one. Yeah, that one got
Yeah,
canceled. But this new
yeah,
one, I think it's still going well, going strong, and it got some
yeah.
good reviews. I hope the Muppets never fade into nothing.
No,
But I
yeah,
love them.
no.
And Gremlins. We got to bring up
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought
1984.
I thought this was my movie. What happened here?
It's got Christmas Carol. I just went down the list, but whatever. It's everybody's movie
No,
because
it's
everybody.
fine. I'm just
Yeah, for
joking.
sure. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
I'll say
But
this just to upset you, Justin. I do like Gremlins 2 better than Gremlins 1, but this is such a cute movie. And
Hmm.
it's full of Christmas cheer. He
Yeah,
gets this little what's his name? Gizmo? For Christmas.
yeah,
Gizmo.
yeah,
Yep,
Gizmo.
yep.
And all hell breaks loose. Another one
Oh yeah,
that's kind of like great entry movies for kids if you are horror fans and you want to get your kids into the horror genre. Great little entry.
definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh, but
And
you can
we
talk
talked
about it. Talk
we
about it because
talked
I'm ordering a burger, man. I'm fucking hungry. So you can talk about it, Justin. I'll be
Or
listening.
me, Peter, it's fine. No, I love it. I think a lot of people agree with that. So, it's
yeah,
the puppetry is fucking awesome. It's
yeah.
really cool how they did it back then. And yeah, it's around Christmas, and Gizmo was a Christmas present. So I definitely, give it a thumbs up, two thumbs up. I do like part two. I think part two is one of those sequels. It's just as good, if not a little better. But I like them both so much it doesn't matter. I just love them both, and I'm very nervous about this part three. It's supposed to be coming now,
Right,
and
right.
yeah,
But it's
I mean
from the original creators, so that's why I give it a little bit of faith. I give it
that's
a
true.
Yeah,
And he did
but he
say no
deliberately
CGI.
sabotaged.
yes.
He did deliberately sabotage the sequel, though.
Yeah, he did.
He did it wonderfully. He just made it meta and like just. So I'm thinking, if he's gonna make this third movie, given where we are as far as social media and everything, how much fun he could have with it. So I have faith in it. It's a movie
So it is
I
the
definitely.
creator. It's the creator sticking with part three then.
Yeah, because I think he did it. He wanted to make a part three. Now I gotta look it up, but the studios weren't into it. Let me see. Talk
I
a little
do.
bit. I'll find
I
info
do
on it.
know. You guys probably already know this, but Gremlins originally the script it was rated R. It was supposed to be a
Yeah,
horror film.
yeah.
They were
Well, it
supposed to
is
like
still
cut
a
the
horror
mom's head.
film,
Yeah, it is, but they didn't add the cutting the mom's head off or
right?
eating the dog. They were supposed to be eating the dog, all
But
kinds of shit.
but that was a big thing. Like I don't know if you guys saw this in the theaters. I was 11. I saw this in the theaters, and that the
No.
thing is, I'm an old fucker, so at the time microwaves were a really new thing, and we were always
Oh.
think. We would always that was a running joke when we were kids. Like you put shit in microwaves, just kids are stupid. It's
Yeah.
like, well, what can we put in the microwave and see it,
Yeah.
blow up?
Hmm.
Like I remember as a kid putting eggs in microwaves and just watching them explode and being like, that was cool. And my mom giving me shit because that's a big mess. But kids are stupid that way. But
Hmm.
we would wonder, like, holy shit, like, what can you put in a microwave or a blender, whatever, have it explode? This movie, like, appealed to like your most demented kid fantasies because shit got put into blenders, shit got
Yeah.
put into microwaves, and as an 11-year-old, I was like, "Oh, this is my fantasy."
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm reading here, guys, that he actually had a script ready. He said, I would love to do it. I wrote a script, so there is an existing script. We're working out some rights issues. So we're just trying to figure out when the best time to make the film would be. I would still do it the same way. I would do it as tangible puppets, not CGI. Maybe we have one stop motion scene in the first Gremlins, but I don't think I'd use much CGI in Gremlins 3. So the issue was more that it was like a rights issue because he said as recently as 2017, Columbus was teasing a twisted and dark screenplay he wrote for a proposed third feature, but those rights issues that he alluded to in our interview remain. So Warner Brothers gained the rights back in 2019, so I guess he's like free to make his movie. So
Oh
yeah,
my.
I'm
I think
I'm pumped for it.
That
I
makes me
think-
excited now.
yeah, I think Spielberg had a big hand in this too because
Yes, he did.
yeah,
He
like
did.
we talked about, like Spielberg can't make the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but that doesn't mean he doesn't appreciate those types of films. He
Yeah.
just,
Mhm.
as a producer, he can get behind them and be distanced from it. And I think that's
Mhm.
what he did with this and Poltergeist, which he did at around the same time.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
produced it, but somebody else directed it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Spielberg produced, Columbus wrote, and Joe Dante directed. But yeah,
That's a nice.
Spielberg,
That's a nice combo.
exactly. But Spielberg has, I've heard him say in interviews that he loves horror, and actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of his favorite movies, and really inspired him. But like you said, he can't make those movies,
Yeah.
So
Right.
he has to get
Yeah,
back guys that can make those movies. So it's really
yeah.
cool.
And
That
this
he does
screenplay
that.
had some really dark parts. Like the actress is Phoebe Cates, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And her whole story about how she hates Christmas because her dad got stuck in the chimney and died, and they didn't realize he was there until they smelled his rotting body days
Yeah.
later. It's like, as an 11-year-old sitting in a theater, even I was like, wow, that's kind of dark.
Yeah, it's still a dark movie. I mean, it was the first one. What was it? This one and Temple of Doom is the PG movies that actually got the PG-13 rating to exist.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it was still dark. I mean, you don't see
It
kids.
is dark.
What's that?
I said it is dark, and even just palette wise, the first movie is just dark. It's like at night. I think that's
It
why I
is,
like
yeah.
the second one a little bit more because it's brighter and you can actually see a lot of the gremlins and all
And
the
there's
crazy.
a lot of nasty characters in it too, like that old
Yeah.
bitch who. They're stereotypes. The old bitch who
Yep.
works at the bank, the retired World War II pilot. Like they're all these Stephen King type stereotypes of meanness.
Mm-hmm.
And now the question of the evening: Gizmo or Baby Yoda?
Hmm.
On the cute
Shit.
factor. On the cuteness factor.
Oh, on the cuteness factor, I would probably have to go with Baby Yoda.
What about you, Justin?
Shit.
Um,
They
one
kind
of
of look alike, except for the hair and the color.
And the fact that Gizmo's got boobs—that's a major non-cute thing.
I guess right now I'd have to say Grogu or Baby Yoda, just because he's, every time I see him on screen, that's the first time in Star Wars probably where I was really concerned. Like I was like, no one better kill him or hurt him,
Or
I'm gonna
punch him in
fucking
the face.
right. Anything happened to him, I was just so in love with that character. So I'm interested to see what season 3 is gonna bring, but yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, Baby Yoda, Grogu.
Yeah, I'll say Baby
It's
Yoda
tough.
now, and then I'll watch Gremlins, and then I'll
Right.
change my mind as soon as I
Exactly.
see
Yeah.
Gremlins, because they're both adorable.
Yeah,
They're
Gizmo's adorable.
One
and they're
thing
both little badasses in their own way.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, they
I
are.
remember in Gremlins 2 when he puts on the Rambo thing, and
Yeah.
that alone.
Oh,
is
yeah.
the word.
Like I was
But-
saying, that's one of those sequels, man, where it's just as good. It's like, for me, like T2 with Terminator, it's just as good. I mean, I can't really even compare them, really, like which one's better. I like them both for two
And it's
different,
funny you mention T2 because they kind of operate the same way. Because Terminator 1 is a very dark, kind of ponderous, movie,
Mhm.
melancholy, and it's great. And it's at night, most of it. And then T2 is just like cinema magic, bam,
Right.
we're going to throw everything at you. And these two movies work kind of the same way. Like the first one's very dark, moody, shadow
Mhm.
and light. And then the second one is just like, hey, we're gonna throw everything at you and just go crazy.
Mhm.
And you can't really pick which one you like. It depends on your mood. They both
Right.
are really awesome movies, but they have
Mhm.
very different styles and palettes and cinematography style. So
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
Gremlins for Christmas, and watch the second one after just for the hell of it.
Mhm.
Uh,
And
and
one thing I really
no,
okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. No, one thing I really love about this movie as an adult, because I did see it in the theaters as an 11-year-old, is that the dad is played by probably my second favorite country singer of all time after Johnny Cash, Mr. Hoyt Axton. He actually had a pretty nice career as an actor doing dad roles in movies and bit parts in television. And he's such a great singer, great musician, and everyone knows this movie, but he knows him. So if you like the dad in this movie, check out Hoyt Axton because he had an amazing career as a country musician, mostly known for having his songs covered by other people. He wrote
Wow.
Joy to the World, which was
Oh,
made a big hit
Wow.
by Knight. Yeah. He
yeah.
wrote Greenback Dollar, which was a big
Hmm.
hit for the Kingston Trio. All his actually, but great singer, great baritone voice, and this is his movie as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. See, I didn't
Nice.
know all that. I'm gonna have to look them up later tonight.
Look at
Definitely.
that. All
Yep.
right. And now we're at the last batch, guys. Speaking of Gremlins. And we've got Peter talking some Christmas story.
Yeah, yeah. By the same director as the original Black Christmas, which is freaking bizarre. But Bob Clark was a weird dude. He also directed Porky's. You could not find three movies that were more different in tone.
Oh, I love
Oh
pork.
Like
yeah.
one's a kids movie, one's like a teen comedy with a lot of sexual hijinks, and one's a slasher movie. Like I don't know who the fuck
Mhm.
has done that,
Yeah.
but Bob Clark is a weird fucking dude. So yeah, this is one of those movies that comes on TV all the time during Christmas. And
Mhm.
it's basically an anthology. It's just about a kid remembering his life one year when he really wanted a BB rifle for Christmas. And of course, this line is almost iconic now. Every time he mentions that he wants that, he gets the line, "You'll shoot your eye out," which he eventually does. Not
Yeah.
literally, but he does do because kids are fucking stupid. I
Mhm.
remember when my best friend wanted the same thing, and the first thing he did when he got a BB rifle was shoot me in the fucking leg with it. So don't give your kids BB rifles because as much as they want them, kids are stupid, and that is the first thing they're going to do. They're either
Oh
going to
yeah.
shoot themselves or someone else.
Yep.
Ah,
Well, that's what
the
we
good
used to
old
do.
days.
That movie got us doing
Yeah.
it out in the woods when we were kids. We'd have BB guns and we would shoot each other out in the woods like we're like going to war. I mean, it was
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah. No,
yeah,
we did
yeah.
crazy ass shit. Yeah, it doesn't really have a discernible story. It's just a series of vignettes about this
Mhm.
kid's childhood that just happen to revolve around Christmas. But they're all pretty funny. And what I liked about this is I think this came out in 1983, and it was definitely intended for adults. It wasn't intended for kids because my parents could relate to this much more. It was set in like the 40s, early 50s. I don't know when it was set, but it was kind of for them to remember what things were like then. And
Mm.
it was more for the kids. If you were watching it, it was family friendly enough that you could kind of understand how your parents grew up. That's what I like
Mhm.
about it. um,
Mhm.
a likable thing about it is the dad, who's played by Darren McGavin. He's great. Like he's like just typical grumpy 50s dad. but he's a good guy. There's a bit where he wins a lamp in the shape of a lady's leg in a contest, and his wife hates it, and it becomes a war between him and his wife, and actually winds up destroying it. There's a lot of profanity, but you don't hear the profanity because it's supposed to be G-rated. So his dad goes on these profanity-ridden tirades all the time, but you only hear it as gibberish. And our hero, little Ralphie, who's so cute, he picks this up from his father, and he drops the F-bomb at one point, but we hear it as fudge. And of course,
Fudge.
yes, of course, he's punished for it. But I like the fact that it was kind of this nudge, nudge, wink, wink thing where it was aimed at the parents of the time who were born and grew up in the 50s. But those of us kids growing up in the 80s, it kind of connected you to the experiences that your parents went through.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Stranger Things.
Right.
Like my childhood is nostalgia now. I feel old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
And
I've never seen this movie.
Oh, really? Oh, wow,
Yes.
man, it's a classic. I mean, it really
I know.
is. I mean,
Yeah, I'll watch it at some point in my life, but I've never seen it.
yeah, every time I have Chinese food for Christmas dinner, I think of this movie because that's actually what they wind up doing. They wind up going to a Chinese restaurant for Christmas dinner.
yeah. Yeah, I love the movie. I can't really say much more about it, really. I mean, everyone pretty much, actually, my girlfriend, she's never sat down and watched it either. I told her this year, like, well, we're going to sit down and watch it. You have to check it out. And, but most people have. And, like, Phil, I guess he's going to have to tonight or tomorrow.
I'll watch it. Yeah,
Right,
I'll
Phil?
check it out. I was telling Pete the other week, it's kind of like Dune for me. It's like this movie that everybody says you should watch so much that like I just end up like losing interest.
Wait, what one? Dune?
Dune.
Frank
Dune, like
Herbert's Dune.
Oh,
the
okay.
David Lynch version. I think it's the only David Lynch movie I haven't seen. Uh,
I watched that for my first time. It was last year, actually. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, for whatever reason, I skipped it. And also another thing with me, which is bizarre, because you guys know I was born here in Brazil, and I moved to the U.S. like in what, 85, 86. So I was like 5, 6 years old. And I was just busy doing other shit. Like, there's this whole blank spot for me with 80s movies. Like, everything from like Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's. It's just like this blank spot. The only 80s movies that I watched was whatever was on like TNT during the 90s. So I watched like Weird Science, Porgy's, all this shit, Revenge of the Nerds. So I have a real blank spot. Like 70s movies, 60s movies, even stuff from the 40s, silent movies, 90s I'm really good with. And then the 80s is just this like dead zone, like real classic, considered classic movies that I've just never seen coming out of the 80s. And this is one of them. One, because I'm not really a Christmassy type person. So, like, whenever it was on, I was just like, I don't want to watch a fucking Christmas movie. And two, because of, like, my little blank spot with the 80s, my blind spot. So I'll check it out. Because like, last year, I don't even think I mentioned in the group that I watched Big Trouble in Little China for the first time. I think
Oh,
it was-
really? Oh, my
I-
God. That's a fucking classic. Well, to
I
me.
love I had a good time with it, but that's what I'm saying. Like I had this real blind spot with the 80s, but I fucking loved it. It was real fun. So I'll try to do this
Well,
one this
you don't even have to find it on streaming, which I don't think it is streaming anywhere. You have to either buy it or rent it, but you can find it. But it does play on, I think, TBS like 24 hours for Christmas time.
Yes.
I think so. It's always on TV. It's been doing that price since what, the 90s or 80s when they started doing the 24-hour thing. So
I
I
actually saw
definitely.
this in the theaters as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm old.
Did
When Pete told me-
people
when
love
Pete-
it
Oh yeah, of course.
when it first came out? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Like my mom took me to see this in the theaters when I was like 11, I guess. So yeah, actually, we're on the same time as Gremlins. think they're like a year apart.
Yeah, Gremlins is I think the year before. Let me see. 1984 is
Gremlins,
Gremlins. 83 is Christmas
yeah,
Story.
yeah. So yeah, Gremlins was like the first Christmas movie I could go see by myself. This one, my
Cool.
mom took me to.
Oh. And then we got Deadly Games, which I really want to see now that Justin mentioned it.
Yeah, it's I actually caught this one last week on Joe Bob again. He did 2 movies last week, and this was one of them. And it's got a few different names. It's got, I think it's got 3 or 4 names. Phil, you have to look that up. My phone isn't working right to look up what the other titles were. But basically, it was filmed 1 year before Home Alone, and it's actually very similar to Home Alone, except for this one's gory, more adult version, and it's just about a
It's a little
crazy guy.
more adult.
I mean, it's just a Santa Claus dude or a guy dressed up as Santa, and he tries to break into this house with this kid and his grandpa. And he's trying to protect his grandpa. So this little kid's like making all these little traps and shit, just like Home Alone. And the director of Home Alone, or the creator, claims he never did see it. He's like, I've never even heard of it, but but it's made just a year ahead of yours. Studios know what's being made, and different stories and plots. We always get movies where they're same plot, but I actually enjoyed it. I watched it. I was pissed off watching it last week. I was like, I don't want to watch this right now, and then I got into it, and then it got real interesting. With the practical effects, the gore,
It
it,
like
mainly just a Home
gory.
Alone,
It's
but yeah,
gory.
adult. Yeah, oh yeah, it's a little gory. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice. It's a French movie, right? You said.
Yes, yep, it's French. And yeah, it's got like 2 or 3 different names. I can't think of any of them right now, and I can't even look it up right now. But yeah, Deadly Games. It's definitely worth checking out if you want to see a little kid really fuck someone up with his traps and everything. And you get to see Santa Claus basically run around trying to kill a kid the whole time, and an old man. So I mean, it's
That's
fun.
charming.
Yeah. Like I said, I just caught this, last week or something, on Joe Bob, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I know anyone that likes Home Alone should check it out and know that it was made before Home Alone. It didn't steal the plot, and it's just that simple of a movie. But the traps are cool. It's a cool movie. I can't really remember all of it right now. Now I'm trying to think about it, but it's fun. It's a fun movie.
I'm gonna. Yeah, you gave me a great movie to watch. I'm gonna watch that because I do like Home Alone, but I think I would like
Hmm.
this even more. And then to close it out, guys. Okay. Um, my last pick is reruns of classic old shows. And why do I pick this? Because that's what I remember from growing up is that, everybody's on vacation. It's the Christmas season, so all your favorite shows are not running any new episodes. So the
Hmm.
networks would just show old stuff, either The Honeymooners or I Love Lucy or any of that old stuff that still holds up. And take some time to just sit down and watch the stuff like the house that Lucy built, or the house that Jackie Gleason built, and you're like, oh shit, these guys were the real true pioneers, and everything that we've been talking about all through the night really started with some of these classic shows that really pushed the envelope as far as they could be pushed back in the day,
Hmm.
um, and really moved cinema, well, not cinema, but TV forward. I think I Love Lucy was the first show to use 3 cameras and a studio audience. So anything that you see as far as sitcoms today, thank Lucy. And also the fact that I think she was the first interracial couple on TV, right? Because she was American, he was Cuban. They didn't sleep on the same bed. So I like old shows. So and from what I hear, I read an article that said that The Sopranos is getting a big bump this year for whatever reason.
Oh yeah. Well, it's because it's
People are
awesome, Phil.
well, that's true, but I mean, it'll remain awesome till the end of time.
Yeah, but a
Uh,
lot of younger kids are catching on now.
yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of younger kids are catching up right now.
Hmm.
Guys, talk away. I need to just grab this burger at my door. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Tell us what your favorite old school TV shows or anything like that are Christmas themed.
Well, I don't know. Like he was saying, Sopranos, they got a good Christmas episode where it's kind of like Tony's doing his version of the Christmas Carol, and that's got where Bobby's got to dress up as Santa Claus for the kids, and he's all pissed off because he's fucking fat and he's got to be Santa Claus, and Tony makes him do it. But I always like watching that. For me, a lot of the Christmas episodes, I can't even think of any right now, honestly. Married with Children or The Simpsons, I always liked. South Park, of course. Never did see the I Love Lucy one, but go ahead, Peter. You probably have more suggestions than me.
Well, first of all, isn't there a Sopranos Christmas episode where I can't Pussy is Santa Claus, but the whole thing is to hide his wire because he's working for the FBI.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't think we got there yet. We're actually rewatching it right now, and we're in season 2, but we haven't made it that far yet. So I bet it's in season 2 because I think the outcome of that season is Pussy's end. But yeah, you're right. I do remember him putting on an outfit, and he was trying to hide his wire. Yep.
Yeah. So that one is pretty good. Anyways, gosh, since we have been left alone, I must actually bring this up because I can't remember them. They're really
right.
not the episodes of the series, but a show that I have watched quite a bit recently is Beverly Hills 90210, which always had a Christmas episode because it was Donna's birthday.
Oh.
So,
see, I used to watch those when I was younger, so I kind of remember them.
Was the broke up with this.
Oh.
Yes. Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, my phone was messing up. It was cutting out there. Hello?
So,
I think your thing's messing up, Peter.
Two angels near. Oh my God, that was bad. Yes. Anyone who hates
can't hear you, Peter.
Brenda, big love triangle, and David and Donna. That's Steve, of course, did something dumb. The classic piece de resistance, though, comes at the end of the episode when the angels, and they suggest God himself, prevent the teens from being. Oh, yes, I remember this. Yeah, they're about to get hit by a school bus, and God intervenes. The final sentence of this critique is the perfect combo of abject awfulness and wild awesomeness rolled into one. Yeah, it's one of those episodes that's like, it's well-intentioned and it's a terrible idea, but it's so terrible and it ties in with things in the show that were actually good that it's kind of a train wreck, but yeah, unforgettable.
Nice. Well, I remember watching them when I was younger, and I liked them, but I haven't never went back and watched them. I know you recently did, but
yeah.
How was that? I mean, was it all around good? But how was that last season? Was that it?
The last season was an improvement over the previous ones because they knew it was ending, and they tried to give it like an ending rather than just have it stopped.
Right. Okay.
Shannon Marie I guess she was talking about A Christmas Story, and she said, "I just saw the actor that played Ralphie played the airport attendant at the beginning of Four Christmases," and
Yep.
then later she said it opened up the conversation with us kids and our parents when we were young. My mom would recognize things in the movie and reflect, and it connected to us. Guys, I got my burger. Sorry about that. Here in Brazil they use military time, and when the guy said the place is gonna close at 2300 hours, I thought I had an extra hour to be able to get this fucking burger, and then I realized, oh wait, that's like in 5 minutes.
Oh
So
wow.
I had to. Luckily for me, like his burger joint is connected, literally connected to my house. It's like next door, so I just ran out there and got my burger real quick, and I'll eat it in a little bit. What series? I heard a little bit as I was out there on my phone, but what series was Pete talking about? Because then
Beverly Hills 90210.
What show
oh
do you?
no, he got you sucked into the Beverly Hills vortex, Justin. That's pretty funny. Yeah, we did a whole segment on '90s teen dramas. He's never seen My So-Called Life, by the way, Justin.
Oh
Which
well,
it's amazing to me that he's never seen that because I like that show. That's one of the few that I do like.
I'm gonna be with Peter here. Neither have I. I haven't watched
Oh
it either.
no!
No,
One
a
Piece,
lot of people talk about it, but no, I have not. Nope, nope. Is
very
that with Claire Danes or?
young
Uh,
Claire Danes, young Jared Leto,
yep,
young
yep.
Wilson Cruz. Great
It was
cast, great.
on MTV. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nope.
MTV one season. It was just like a flash in a pan,
Oh.
but still considered one of the great shows of all time. Like especially in that genre. But
Mhm.
Claire Danes, for whatever reason, she's like, I don't want to get tied down to this, and you can't have the show without her. So they just canceled
Uh,
it. So guys, that's pretty much wraps it
well,
up.
I got one more to say for a television show. I do remember this one. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They did for me a pretty funny Christmas episode. It's actually rated R, and I think it's like an hour and a half episode. And I would definitely recommend that one because they even do the claymation like back in the Rudolph days. They do a segment, a whole scene there where it's a musical and everything. It's really cool. They do a little wink at the Rudolph and all the old cartoons for us. And it's been quite a few years, but I do remember that was a fun episode for Christmas time.
And there's another one, and Pete has just started rewatching the X Files, and I think I'm going to join
Mm-hmm.
him shortly because we might do like some podcasts on the X Files. But the X
Oh,
Files have an episode called G is for Ghost, which is a Christmas episode, and it's really great. And I'm pretty sure it's got Lily Tomlin and Ed Asner in it.
oh.
Let me just double check. G is for Ghost, the X Files, but that's a really great Christmas one. Where they
I
go.
should probably watch that one. I've never actually sat down and watched the X Files.
What?
I
Yeah,
know
do
it.
it,
I
man.
know it. Yeah.
Uh, Especially because you dig Twin Peaks, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the child of Twin Peaks, you know.
Yeah, I
Just
was watching it now. Actually, I was in the middle of an episode when we started this podcast.
Oh.
So as soon as we finish, I'm gonna get back to that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a great show. It's not really all that revolutionary because it definitely builds on sci-fi that came before that. Everything from Star Trek to Night Stalker. It's definitely more homage than original, but it takes the ball and runs with it. Takes it to the next step.
Yeah,
I
but
think
what's it on right now? Do I have to find it in other
You
ways?
might have to find it. I got a really nice torrent that actually has extras for every season, and it has
Oh,
movies as well. So
okay. I might have to get that information later then. I think
it's
it's
got
on Hulu or Netflix though.
no Netflix took it off. I
Oh,
remember.
son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
It's got Lily Tomlin and Ed Asner. Actually, the title of the episode is "How the Ghost Stole Christmas." It's from
oh, I remember that. That's
yes,
about the old people who are haunting the fucking house, right?
yes, it's from one of the later seasons,
That's
1998.
a great episode. Yes, I
It
remember
really
that.
is. It really is. Justin, you would dig the X Files. It's first season's it has its clunkers, but it's still pretty solid first season. But I think for me, the revolutionary part of it, I think it brought cinematic style. I mean, Twin Peaks did too, but it just pumped it up. It brought that cinematic style that we still see today
Mm-hmm.
to network television and regular TV. It brought the long season long arc, which again Twin Peaks did, but it just pumped it up a little bit more, and just the whole paranormal stuff that really wasn't. I mean, we had unsolved mysteries, but it wasn't on the level of what X-Files did, and of course a female protagonist like Scully. I can't
Right.
think of many before. You know like
Mm-hmm.
on that level,
Yeah.
So I still consider it pretty revolutionary for its time, and it influenced everything from Lost to
Right. Yep.
Stranger Things to whatever. I mean, Twin Peaks is the granddaddy. I mean, that's you can't deny
Yeah.
Twin Peaks is the granddaddy. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever imperfections Twin Peaks had, Chris Carter tweaked it and just made this fucking awesome show, The X Files, which peters out towards the end as most shows do. But its first
Yeah.
6-7 years, man, those are some solid. It's a
Yeah,
solid
I think
run.
it's about
Uh,
7 where it hits its peak.
Yes. Yeah, which is right when the company left the series. But season 8 is really good. When I did the rewatch, I was surprised how much I liked season 8.
Yeah,
So
like
you dig it, Justin.
what I liked about the reboots is that they actually, I don't think Robert Patrick appeared in the reboots, but the other chick, Annabeth Gish, she showed up, and it's good
Yeah,
because like those characters, those actors, they actually helped carry the show through its dying years, and I
yes.
still watched. So I mean,
Hmm.
good for them. Give them acknowledgement.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But anyway, you dig it, Justin. Trust me. I think it's right down your alley. Like I said, just first season's got its clunkers, as most of those old shows did. So you got to kind of ride with it a little bit. But the
Right.
good ones are great. I mean, the good
Mm-hmm.
ones, right in season one, you already know. Okay, this show is special.
So
Uh,
11 or yeah,
guys,
the third episode of season 1 is one of the best of the entire series.
exactly.
So
With the
even
guy
if the
who
season as a whole,
squeezes in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
dude, yes,
The second
please,
episode is
yes,
great. The first
yes,
mythology episode is great, where you get like a
yeah,
hint of the whole alien conspiracy is awesome. I mean, there's just some really
Oh.
bad ones like Ghost in the Machine, and there's this one
Mm-hmm.
where there's a few really bad ones in season one, but the good ones. There's one that reminds me of Silence of the Lambs, where Scully has to go interview this serial killer, and Scully was written after.
she
Um,
was Clarice. She was
she
supposed to
was
be
Clarice,
Clarice Starling.
completely Clarice. And she interviews this killer and this in this high security jail, and he's freaky as fuck because he can see into like her mind. It's really good episode. I think it's the sixth or seventh episode too. It's real early, so real good stuff in the first season. It's real scary too.
Yeah, but it's got humor too. It's got a lot of
Yeah,
Oh.
humor. As bland as like it's portrayed as very stark, but the dialogue is crackling. The episode I was watching today, there's a great line where Fox is getting Scully at the courthouse, and she's like, "I've forgotten how much I hate being in court," and without like even cracking a smile, Mulder says, "That's the great thing about chasing aliens and demons. We very rarely get to press charges."
yeah.
And his line is so dry, but it's funny.
Yes. No, they got great chemistry. That's why I think when he left, the show went down a little bit because they made the show. Those two are just a perfect pairing.
I did find it. It's on Hulu if anyone's listening and was curious
Oh, there
what
you
it's
go.
streaming on. It's streaming on Hulu, all 11 seasons. Yep.
There
Wow.
you go.
So I'm gonna start. I'll start watching these through this whole Christmas break time. So
Cool,
yeah,
man. Once you get in stride,
1993, huh? Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Once it
Right
hits its
after Twin
stride,
Peaks, like what, 2 years, maybe a year and a half after Twin Peaks there. So
yes,
plus it's
and
got
David
David
Duchovny
Duchovny.
plays an
Yeah,
FBI agent in both.
yeah, yep. Crossdresser in the other one was just fucking brilliant. I loved it when he came in back Or he came back into part 3 where he's all like buff, kinda.
I
He's
know
dressed up.
Denise, right? Denise, and it was funny for me because I watched. Obviously, I mean, I grew up watching the X Files. I watched the episode 1 when it aired, and I had never seen Twin Peaks. And then when I watched it, like what 6, 7 years ago for the first time, I was like, "Oh my God, it's David fucking Duchovny!" And
Hmm.
he's like a cross-dressing FBI agent,
Hmm.
and it just totally was. Oh, we got a comment here from Shannon Marie. Thanks for listening. She said Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite Christmas movies. I just watched Fred Claus tonight for the first time in a while, and I forgot how much I like that movie. I've never even heard of Fred Claus. What is
It's
that?
got Vince Vaughn in it. I know Vince Vaughn's in it. Uh,
Oh,
that's
there you
all I
go.
know, though. I don't think I actually sat down and watched it myself. I think it should have just premiered on Netflix, I think, today.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
And a Christmas movie that came out this year, but I didn't like that much. Pete and I actually reviewed it. Was the one with Mel Gibson. It was okay. It wasn't bad. I just felt it
I
didn't
liked it.
know what
Fat
it meant to
Man,
be.
Fat
After I got over the what the trailer promised, which was an action movie, ridiculous action movie, and we went in, we started watching it, and then we kind of realized it actually had like a Christmas tale to it, or feel good
It was
part
so
to it.
serious, though.
Yeah, yeah, but Goggins, I mean, of course he saves it. I mean, he, every time he was on the screen, I agree, it
Yeah,
wasn't as good as what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be straight action, gunning for Santa, the whole time, and it really isn't. I mean, I think the guns went off at the last 10 minutes
20
of the
minutes.
that was
Yeah,
movie.
the
it was
best
a
part
weird
of the
movie.
movie. The shootout between Goggins and Mel was definitely the best part.
But
Right,
he does
right.
save the movie. But for me, it just I didn't really get what the movie wanted to be. Like, it was it a black
Yeah,
comedy? Was it a serious drama? Was it an action? Like, it was
I
too
I think it
all
was
over the
more aimed at like a serious Christmas movie. It's
yeah.
where people lost faith of Santa or the holidays or being good, and it all wraps up in the end. And yeah, it was more aimed at, why did they call it Fat Man then? They should have called it something else, or I
I
don't know,
know. That's why I
Santa
think
or
it just didn't. It kind of didn't get
right,
whatever mood it wanted to
right.
get.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It was all
Yeah,
over the place.
yeah,
I would have
yeah.
enjoyed it just as a black comedy, but it wasn't all the
Hmm.
time. It was like trying to be real serious drama. Like,
No, it was
Hmm.
very serious. It was
Yeah,
very
it was.
serious. And when I saw the premise, I was like, "That's hilarious. This could be
Right.
entertaining." And I
Yeah.
watched it, and it took itself so seriously.
yeah,
I got to the midway point, and I was scratching my head. I was like, I haven't laughed once yet. Like, this isn't funny." And I think Justin's right. Like, they weren't going to be funny.
No.
If that wasn't their intention, then what was
Right.
their intention?
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. What
I
was the
agree.
yeah? But anyway, so Justin, I'll be really interested in hearing what your thoughts are on the X Files, and wait till you get to the later seasons, because then you're gonna get your boy from Breaking Bad. He started his
Bryan
career off on the
Cranston.
X Files.
That's
Oh,
how he
really?
got. Yeah, that's
No,
how he
but the
got
director Gillian. I'm talking about the
Vince Gilligan. Yeah,
yes, he
that's
directed and
how.
wrote some of the best episodes.
Yes,
Wow.
but that's how he actually how Bryan Cranston got cast in
Yes,
Breaking
because he
Bad
was in that
because
episode where he's in the
they met.
car, right? Where he's in the car and he's
Yes,
like his
yes.
brain is gonna blow up or some shit. Yes, so you're gonna get the beginnings of a lot of like really awesome people that did some really awesome stuff after on the X
Hmm.
Files too.
And
So
and Michael McKean. Michael McKean was also in one of the best. It was a two-part episode where Mulder and a Man in Black switch bodies. Michael McKean
mhm.
was the Man in Black, and I think Vince Gilligan wrote that episode as well.
Yeah,
And
he
of
wrote some
course,
of the best ones.
Michael McKean, of course, turns up in another Vince Gilligan show, Better Call Saul.
Yep.
So
Yep.
cool.
Excellent show there.
Yeah,
Well,
Speaking of which, are we getting a final season or what with that?
yeah, there is. It's not canceled.
Okay.
It's one of the
Okay.
ones that actually is going to survive.
All right. Good. Yeah, we need an ending to that one, or I do. I want to know what happens to the girlfriend, and you know.
Yeah,
So, yeah, good show. Good show to anyone
any
listening.
And for those of you, because it is Happy Holidays, there's always Yentl, which is really awesome. And if anybody ever shits on Barbara Streisand as a director, she's fucking great. Uh, Great movie. It's a musical though.
One
And
move. Oh, go ahead.
also, well, another musical for I'm just trying to be inclusive here for our Jewish listeners. The fucking Fiddler on the Roof, man. That's a great fucking movie.
Mm.
And I don't know any uh, pagan Yule movies, but if you know any that go to other things other than Christmas, drop them in the comments. But
I
those are
would definitely say one that gets overlooked, and that's that Brazil. That's actually set around Christmas, and I didn't even think of it until I watched it some of it the other day, and I was like, "Holy shit, set around Christmas time!" And that's Terry Gilliam, and that movie is
Mhm.
fucked up. You don't
Bonkers.
get a happy ending with this one, and
And we don't even know where it's set, do we? It's just like in this dystopian country. The movie's called Brazil, but
yeah,
it's not set in Brazil. It's just set in this dystopian.
Although Brazil feels like that 99% of the time,
Well, no, it
which is
feels
why
like
we
it
love it.
all the time now, but
That's why we love it, though.
yeah, no, you know what it feels like now? It feels like they live. This is what it feels like. Because, like, I don't know about you, but I've been out a lot because fuck it, we got free reign here. We can go out, we can do anything we want. Plague,
oh,
irregardless, doesn't matter. And I was on the bus the other day and I was seeing all these signs in Portuguese that I can read, like, be mindful of your neighbors, stay at home if you can, respect the virus, blah, blah, blah. And like seeing like all these signs of something that I never even would have considered this time last year, that felt like dystopia. But it was extra special because it was in
right.
Portuguese.
Yes, yes. So odd year. So this is why I'm wishing everyone a very, very special happy holiday for those of you who can't afford to go out, because, Pete and I live by ourselves. So we kind of, I mean, I can't speak for Pete, but I'll speak for myself where I'm like, I kind of take my health at my own, risk. And because
Mm-hmm.
if I'm bringing the virus home, I'm bringing it home to me, basically.
Right.
I'm not spreading it to anybody else. I'm not and I'm also careful. I don't go out to where I see, oh, there's a whole bunch of motherfuckers. But there are some of you out there who do really, have to be careful who you're bringing it home to. Or we had a member in the group who got the coronavirus and it didn't
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, I
It
saw
wasn't.
that yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
she's recuperating.
Yeah,
So good for her.
yeah.
So take it seriously, guys. I mean, it's a real thing, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, don't shame those that do go out every once in a while. And
Well, it's like us. We were
yeah.
going to the movies before we got shut back down, and where
Mhm.
we could still have popcorn and pop. Well, now I guess they're opening them back up, but now you have to wear a mask while you're seated, and I
Oh,
don't really
shit.
want to do that. I mean, I
Well,
get warm in theaters and stuff, and if I have a mask on while I'm sitting in there for 2 hours or however long it is, I don't feel like I'm gonna enjoy that movie. So I don't know. I'm gonna wait
I
it
don't
out.
think everybody's
Yeah.
gonna
When we
be
went to Wonder Woman last weekend, I was
yeah.
shoveling my face with popcorn within 5 minutes of entering the cinema.
They won't even sell us popcorn now. You
Oh,
only can get it.
bollocks.
You can only get it when you're leaving for carry out. That's it. Like they
That's
don't.
stupid.
They're not allowing water, nothing in the
Well,
theaters.
that's
But then again,
smarter.
I heard from Jeremy Ward in the group. He said he's in Detroit more, I think, and he said those theaters they are letting you like eat
Because
popcorn
Detroit
or
is
have your mask.
ghetto.
Yeah.
Detroit is ghetto. They're like whatever happens, happens. That's what like come on. We bought popcorn. It was like this whole procedure, and it was very safe. I was actually kind of cool, like how they had
Oh
everything very
yeah.
safe. But as soon as we're in
Mhm.
the theater, how the fuck we're gonna eat the popcorn without taking the mask off?
Right.
Nobody was flashing a flashlight in our face. By the
Yeah.
way, it's Regina Michelle James who had the corona, and she's recuperating. She's a member of the group, so we wish her continued health and recuperation. So yeah, it's a nasty, nasty, nasty virus if you do catch it. But
Mhm.
hopefully you're all young and healthy and you will survive. But those of you who have people at risk, or if you yourself are at risk, yeah, stay home and care for those around you. But I do wish everyone happy holidays, regardless of what you believe or don't believe. Um,
Hmm.
I think we got a whole bunch of good movies for people to watch, man.
Oh yeah, got
And
quite a list.
rewatch.
Yeah, I will watch a few of the ones I haven't seen. Definitely Krampus looks interesting. The Black Christmas remake looks
Yep.
interesting. So
Yeah.
I'll check those out. I'm still trying to find the Colonel Sanders documentary. That's not documentary, sorry.
Oh, the
Uh,
movie with Mario
Lifetime.
Lopez.
Yeah, it's only
Oh, that
20 minutes. That's the thing. I wouldn't watch it if it was a full length movie, but apparently it's like 15 minutes long. Like
Oh
I can
wow.
spare that. That's something that would make Phil fall asleep, of course. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
15
Mario
minutes.
Lopez is hot. I'll watch it because he's sexy. Uh, speaking of the thirsty women, our group is also very gay friendly, so I like
Yeah.
how. So sometimes it's the men that get thirsty in there too.
Oh yeah. Everybody
Uh,
thirsty in that group.
yes. So cool. I'll watch it if it's that short. I know Kate was like salivating when I posted that. She was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Oh man."
Oh wow.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, boys. First off, thank you, Justin, for hanging with us. Because, guys, we've been trying
Yeah,
to get Justin on
cheers.
for so long. He's a hard man to get a hold of, but he's so much
Yeah.
fun
He has a life
Yeah.
because he
when
has
he's
a life.
on.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll try to visit with you guys more. I mean, just give me a heads up. I'll try to work something out. I do like going on here. I mean, it's fun. It gives me something to do besides stressful shit going on. So, yeah. I mean, if you guys are doing X Files, maybe I'll just start watching that like tonight even and talk
Do
about the
it.
episodes with you. I don't
Yeah.
when are you guys planning on doing that episode though? Because I have 11 episodes here and it says 24 episodes in a lot of them. 24,
Yeah, the
25.
first
24 in the first
season.
season.
Yeah, the first season, the original run is 24. What Pete and I kind of thought we would do is not episode per episode, but like after like mid-season, let's say. Like, so we'll watch 12 episodes and then we'll talk about those 12 or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
You
but
know,
I'm way ahead. I'm way ahead. I'm on
he's
like
way ahead. But we'll
yeah.
go whenever, I mean, I'll probably
He's
only really start next week, so I'll be
he's
ready
probably
probably
watching them like
February.
how we're watching Sopranos and Mr. Robot right now. We're
No,
just
I
binging
only
the
watch
shit
one
out
a
of them.
day. Only one a
Oh,
day.
okay. Oh, that's
Yeah,
good. That's
I
how we should do it, actually.
one a day is fine, man. Like when I did a rewatch, like maybe 3 years ago, I did one a day because it's kind of it's 1993,
Right.
different pacing, different. It's like they're kind of chunky. Like it's not the type of show that. And until you get to like season 3 and 4, I think I would do like 2 or 3 every once in a while because the pacing got a little bit faster. But the beginning, man, it's ponderous. It's like this
Oh,
very methodical
Well,
pacing.
it's episodic. It's episodic. It's old school
Yeah.
okay.
network television where
Hmm.
you have an episode that could take place at, and they even did that in the reboots in seasons 10 and 11. They
Yeah.
had these episodes that could have fit in season 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
It's
Like,
right.
like,
episodic,
like the
but
Trash Man episode.
Hmm.
Justin, it is, but it isn't because the thing is that there's this overarching mythology
Hmm.
Yes.
intermixed. So they have what they call the Monster of the Week episodes, the MOWs, or in internet speak.
Right.
So those are the like Twilight episode type episodes, Twilight Zone, I mean, where they
Right.
just start and end, boom. But then intermixed, you have this mythology, which is episode 2 already. It's a mythology
Yeah.
episode
That's the one
and
about
it's
the pilot.
great. It's
Yeah.
really fucking great. And in the
Yeah, I'm
pilot,
reading it. Yep. Test pilot disappeared after experiencing strange psychotic behavior.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what. I'll tell you what. And I'm a huge, huge fan of the X Files. Now, Pete liked the pilot a little bit more. I'm not a huge fan of the pilot. I think it's a little too slow. But episode 2 is like bam. It's like everything just falls into place. But
But the pilot
when
was
I was
teen
doing the
drama.
rewatch, I was like, it took me like I think 2 tries to get through the pilot. I thought it was a little too slow, but episode 2 on it just boom,
Okay.
everything fixed all the stuff that I thought was a little too slow in the first one. But
Okay.
most pilots are like that, like Pete said, and it's true. Most pilots are a little clunky in parts.
I would like to say I would like, if I can, hopefully, when you guys are doing your next one, to talk about the recent stuff you guys have actually watched. Did you guys talk about Wonder Woman yet, or you did with the
We
last one, didn't you?
did, we
Yeah,
did.
it was the
Okay.
last one.
Okay.
And but what I think we should do, guys, let's set up a date in January. By the way, this feels like an after show talk right here. So anybody that's still listening, what's up? But uh, in January, guys, let's set a date to do like our movies of the year because I will only have time at the end of the year now to watch a whole bunch of movies.
Oh yeah.
And we can pick 8 or 10 like we did now of movies that really stood out to us, and we'll give our 2020 review. At the
Okay.
movies, what
Yeah.
movies
Sounds
we
great.
like.
Yeah. The
So
problematic thing
yeah,
about that for me is that I usually don't wind up watching like the best movies of the year until like March of next year.
Oh really? You don't jump on the screeners, which we haven't got any yet, which is bullshit. Now
Yeah,
I
well,
think about it.
because there's no need for screeners because everything's being
Right.
released to streaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it usually takes me a while to find out what people are talking about. I did watch Ma Rainey's Black Bottom today, which I thought was
Mhm.
really good. But in terms of both the buzz of the movie and actually, I'm sorry to say, even Chadwick Boseman, I didn't get. I liked the movie, but
Mhm. That's
I
how I
think,
felt. Yep.
yeah, I think the star of the movie was the chick who played Ma Rainey.
Mhm.
I
Viola
thought she
Davis.
was Viola
Yep.
Davis, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but she's such scenery. You can't. She's on Meryl Streep level for me. You ever see that
yeah.
movie with her, Meryl Streep? In what's the guy that died that played Truman? Um, what's the actor that died? That had the weird. He played Truman Capote. Um,
Oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
yeah, Philip C. There's a movie where he's like this priest who has this kind of close relationship with one of the boys, uh, but you don't know if it's like gay or what's going on. And Meryl Streep plays the
Doubt. Doubt. I bet it's doubt.
yeah, she plays
Yep.
like the headmaster, one of the headmasters, and then the scene that she has with Viola Davis, which is the mom, fucking shit. Like very rarely do you see Meryl Streep just kind of like go into the background. Viola just
Mhm.
killed
Yeah, no, she
as
was
the
great.
mom, she's like, I don't care what's going on with this priest because he gives my boy attention. Like, you don't know what it goes on at my house, at this. So if you want to get rid of my boy because your priest maybe, man, great scene. I think I posted it on the group a few times there, on YouTube. You can find it. But great movie, too. Very kind of
Yeah.
subtle movie. But yeah, Viola's great. She's
Oh,
great.
Yeah,
she is great. That new movie, I liked it. I just wasn't prepared for the play setting, where it's like a play, like Fences.
yeah. It was
But
Fences. It was
yeah,
Fences Blues.
yeah.
But
I think he
as far,
did good. Chadwick, I think he did good,
yeah,
especially that scene where he's like yelling at God or whatever. I think Craig Wooten said that where you actually kind of feel like he's not even acting; he's actually pouring his heart out there. But
yeah. I,
Oh, look. Shout out to Craig. Craig always sneaks
yeah, we
into our
haven't name
podcast.
dropped Craig yet.
We have
Yeah,
a name drop Craig all podcast, but I'll watch it this weekend so we can talk about it. Well, we're not going to have a podcast next Monday, but when we come back from our drinking binge, we'll definitely talk about it. Okay, because I do want to see it. But
yeah,
Pete, I'm the same as you. I only get a chance to see like what are considered, the better movies till March because that's when all the list comes out in the Oscar race. But I'm
yeah.
just saying, pick whatever movies that you
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
that
for
you
sure.
thought,
We'll
like,
put some flaky shit
you know,
out
like,
there.
yeah, what we're
like,
watching.
oh, I dug this one, like,
Yeah, I mean, right now, like that spontaneous and black box are pretty high on my list. Once I see better movies, maybe they won't be, but for now, like those are movies I would still tell people to get out there and see.
cool. Yeah,
Nice.
Spontaneous sounded really cool. Well, dudes, my burger's getting cold, so
Eat your
All
fucking
right.
burger, man. I got X Files to watch.
All right.
but pleasure to have everybody watching. I will download this video and post it on the regular YouTube channel. But happy holidays, everyone, whatever it is you celebrate, whether it be Kwanzaa, Yuli, Christmas, Hanukkah, or absolutely nothing.
Non-denominational, gender-neutral holiday.
Exactly. We are inclusive, even though we are assholes at the same time. We are inclusive assholes. And we love all of you. And thank you, Justin, for letting us become a
Yeah,
part of
thanks,
your
man.
family.
Nice to
No problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me join. I'm sorry it's taken a while to get me on here, but I'll do better from here on. I'll try to join you guys here and there more. And
Yes,
thanks
and
again. It was fun.
many prayers and good vibes to your grandma
Thank
and
you.
to you
Thank you.
and your family.
indeed. Wish her the best, and I hope she enjoys nasty Christmas horror movies with you.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna set her up tonight. I don't know what I'm gonna have her watch tonight, but I gotta look for something. So she's ready. She's seen Black Christmas and what else did I make her watch? She did watch Fat Man, but she probably agreed with you guys on that one. She didn't really like it. So but
Your grandma,
thanks.
see, points to your grandma. I like her already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah, thanks again, and yeah, I'll try to join. You guys said you're not doing this week, right? So or this
Yeah.
following
Yeah,
week.
we'll be back
Okay.
in January, probably the
All
second
right.
week.
All right. Well, everyone
Adios.
have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays,
Yes, yes. Cheers to you and yours.
and be safe.
Yes.
Probably not, but I'll do it.
All right, guys. I'm gonna end it right now.
All right. Bye, guys.
Wait
Cheers.
up.